Just can't get it to work, Mark, anymore. My iris is broken. It works fine when I'm offline, and then I go online here, and I just can't get it to work. I'll be right back.
Oh, well.
Ugh. Welcome to Dial the Gate, the Stargate Oral History Project. My name is David Reed. I appreciate you joining me for this episode. Mark Nicholson, prop builder of the Stargate SG-1, Atlantis, Universe, Ark of Truth Continuum, is back once more. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us. I've got a couple of mods in the chat today. Right now I've got Anthony and I've got Jeremy. Jeremy's captaining. Thank you, sir. So if you are in our YouTube live chat, you can go ahead and submit any questions you have to our prop builder extraordinaire. He was on the franchise for the last several seasons of the time that it was running in Vancouver, and we've got a few assets to show you here. I really appreciate you being back because I think that we covered a lot of ground last time, but there was so much more to cover, Mark. Is it true in your line of work that the amount of time that something is going to appear on screen, does that kind of, do you try to correlate that with the amount of time that you spend on manufacturing and creating something? Or is it that something that can appear on screen for half a second takes up all of your time? Ideally, when you're at the drawing board with your allocation of time, which is your most finite allocation, as most of us is that the attempt?
I usually find those discussions happen higher up than where I would be. Like, I was just building, the lead prop builder would be going to over the bridge because that was a 15-minute drive away and coming back with a lot of that information as to how important something was. I would never see a script.
Okay.
The only time I saw a script was when we were using spares as waste paper to help with building something. And I was like, wait, this script isn't out yet. What's going to happen to this character? But no, like I would see drawings and I would get verbal notes and that'd be it. So we always want to make everything look good is what everyone wants when you build something and you care about your work. But would we know how it plays sometimes? Maybe not.
I would think that there would be a threshold there. I mean, of course you want to make things look good, but isn't there, I want this to be exceptional. I mean, is that a part of the paradigm at all? Or is it that this is where we can make it to? This is the time that I have. Would I love to do some more stuff with it? Sure. But I don't have a lifetime and it's got to be on set tomorrow and here it goes.
That's definitely true. It's like, how much time do we have? What's our actual budget for it? What can we make in that time? Is it going to work? And not knowing half the answers to those questions when you start. So it's like, okay, let's see what we can do. And sometimes, like some of the bigger things, you'd have a long lead time. You'd have a lot of planning. It's like, I think the universe gate from drawing and starting to plan to it being installed was like 2 months, which was that's a big project.
The Destiny universe gate, not the traveling one.
Correct. Well, both of them.
Oh, so both of them, okay, took 2 months from concept to finish. Okay.
And I think the traveling gate we had a bit more time on because it wasn't like installing the gate into the set was its own part of the process, whereas the traveling one we didn't need until that shoot was starting to happen.
So I've gotten some information
down in the desert.
Right, and because it was first deployed in White Sands National Park in New Mexico, which I've been 3 times and cannot get enough of it. I learned since I've had you on that the construction of the Universe Gate was radically different from the SG-1 gate. With the SG-1 gate, they had a metal gear that they could barely fit in through the door because it was not as great in circumference as the Stargate itself, obviously. But with the Universe Stargate, they went with a chain, which I didn't realize is what they had done. Maybe that's news to you.
I didn't deal with a lot of the mechanical stuff inside. I was mostly like doing a lot of the cladding, like the outside decoration stuff for it.
Hmm.
I did all the symbols. That
Okay.
was just like, hey, Mark, make that up.
You created the concept for the symbols.
Yeah, they had a vague idea and then they changed it and they were like, yeah, just so I the gate symbols on the gate for the universe gate are my whole creation.
I didn't realize this. This is a big deal. The dots, lines, and squiggles are you.
Yes. And
Wow. I wonder
uh
what it was before.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I know there was a thing where there was going to be a specific language used, and so I was doing a lot of like designing a new language, like the ancient one.
Mm-hmm.
And then part of the way through that work, I learned that they were like, no, wait, we realized based on some writing things that no, it all has to be in ancient, so never mind, scrap all that work, forget it, and we're going to go do
Wow.
this.
It would have been easy just to put ancient numbers on it, just assign each position, each glyph for position, just an ancient number.
Well,
One to how many glyphs were on the? Because SG-1, the Milky Way
I don't
Stargate
remember.
had. Chad, help me out here. How many glyphs did the SG-1, the Milky Way Stargate have? Because the Destiny gate was fewer. The Atlantis gate was fewer, and the Destiny gate was fewer than that because there was no position underneath a chevron, unlike there was for Atlantis. So they kept on reducing the number of positions.
It would have
Um,
been, wait, 6 times 9? Yeah, because
so
there was six on a,
54. Yeah, but there's four. There's four in between.
or is it just four on? So it'd be 4 times 9,
There's 36. So there's 36
36. Yeah.
positions. Yeah, because there would be four in between. And then, so 36. Anyway, someone can put.
Yeah.
So 38. Lockwatcher says 38. So 38. Lockwatcher 38 for what? Which one? SG1 is.
Wait,
Now
I have
Ibrecht says 37. SG1 is 38.
yeah, I've got pictures here. There's 4 symbols on a segment, and there's 9 segments on the gate.
For SGU, yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
it's 36.
There we go. There's our answer. I want to ask you real quick. So the universe gate on Destiny was the first Stargate that actually had 9 chevrons built on it. The SG-1 Stargate had, at the SGC, had 7. The other 2 were not completed because we never saw them underneath. The Atlantis Stargate, it was never completely circular because it went into the floor, so all that we saw
Yeah.
was what was on the surface. But the Destiny Stargate, I think, was the first one that was completed because it went into the floor and then came back out the other side. Was it the same? I doubt it was because it was CG. But when it moved, what the location Stargate for the Universe Gate, was that only 7 chevrons as well?
Um, I don't know.
Right?
Because the 2 segments that were on the bottom of it did have like mounting onto the ramp, but I'm pretty sure it and while it didn't spin on its own,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know if we
I don't
actually
know either.
made things that we wouldn't see on it.
Yeah, because when the Destiny, I didn't sell the SGU props, costumes, and set pieces. I sold for SG1 and Atlantis.
Okay.
And the SG1 gate was obviously circular and completed, but the dressing wasn't complete underneath because you didn't need it. They were never going to shoot underneath the ramp, although they could have completed it that way and did that. Especially when we went to Chevrons 8 and 9, they could have gotten those shots, but they just didn't worry about it. But I always wondered because when the SGU assets sold, the Destiny Stargates were everywhere. And I'm pretty sure one of the ones that I have is from the Destiny itself rather than the location SGU gate that was built because it was one of the far heavier ones because they had to be designed differently, I'm pretty sure. And pursuant to that, Lockwatcher wanted to know, I heard that the traveling gate for Universe was very different in construction than the traveling gate for SG1 to make the production easier. Any information on this?
Oh yeah. So a couple of years later, I actually worked with someone at a separate job that was a PA on the first season or two. So we got to share some stories about that.
Of SG1?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Which it was a much rougher production than it was when I encountered this well-oiled machine, just from years of experience, right? But the original SG-1 traveling gate was 2 pieces, like a top and a bottom half, and it took a big crane to get everything together. With Atlantis, the gate was CG most of the time,
Yep.
and then the 1/3 of an Atlantis gate we made for them to be climbing on for a water scene in season 4.
And season 5's the shrine.
Yeah, that was it. We made a stand for that to be on the side so that on certain shots you could see half a real gate as they entered and exited. But for SGU, they were like, we're not doing that 2-piece big winch thing. We got to make it better. So it still comes in 9 segments, and they all come together. The way to tell the difference between the traveling gate and the one in Destiny is the spinning is only the front half. The back half stays stationary.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see the internals, you'll see a dividing line between the frame on the spinning gate.
Okay. There is a lip on my chunk of the SGU gate that does come around where that is. It may just be the part where the molds come together.
Yeah.
But I'm always very curious about that.
But
One of these
like
days I'm gonna pop it open and see as soon as I have the right
the
person.
steel and aluminum frame underneath, you'll be able to see it.
I
I
see.
think
All right. Well, I may just have to show it to you at some point here because it is very heavy.
I know where 11 of the 18 SGU gate pieces are, and you're saying you have one, so now I know where 12 are.
Wow. So there were 18 sold, not 16. That was what I was wondering about because there's definitely 9, but I'm wondering if there's 7 of the others.
There's definitely, well, I guess that maybe they didn't sell the 2 pieces at the bottom that
shells.
were part of the ramp.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe sold them for a really discounted price. So
yeah, I don't know how it would have interacted with the ramp, so maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think those were, the more I think about it, the more I think they were just regular pieces that actually like went in.
Interesting. Well, there you go. Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
I'm not certain.
Okay, that's fair. Let me see here what I was saying. SG-1 had 38. Lockwatcher says 38 plus 1 for Origin. Stargate Atlantis had 35 gate symbols. Destiny had 36. Well, there we go. So thank you, Ibrecht, Lockwatcher, and I think Dan Ben as well. So there's, yeah, this to borrow from Daniel, this Stargate talk really gets my blood pumping. But I have a few things to share with you, and you have a few things to share with me. And
I would like to share one thing about a part we didn't even get to, which is my logic for describing those gate symbols.
Oh, please. Absolutely. 100%.
Because no one knows this.
I drove right over it.
Like a few people I've talked to, and the best part was when I finally got to meet Mika McKinnon, who did a bunch of the math consulting for the show.
Yep.
So like
science consultant.
All the like chalkboards full of math in SGU, she was writing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We never got to talk, but we both worked for Kenny. But later on, when I met with her, I was describing what my process was for describing this, and she was like, "Yes, I understood that, and I ran with that, and that is exactly what we did." And I'm just going, oh, it was so good. It was so much fun.
So your concept transitioned to her without even having to tell her.
Yeah,
wow.
Because what I was trying to describe with those symbols is this gate is moving. Everything's moving. The amount of time going on means everything's going to move a little bit. Space does not stay still. So we're not looking for static locations. We're looking for phenomena that match a certain criteria. So like planets, stars, distances. Hey, I can find a bunch of these and they become fixed points for a period of time and I can find them. And as I travel to a new universe, I can find something that matches that same spot.
A new galaxy, yeah.
Because it's like,
wow.
Yeah, these are likely things that are going to show up. So those symbols are a combination of several things that are like, oh yeah, a star that has this property, a distance between it and another star that has that property. This is a point in space we can use. And so even when I'm in a different universe or somewhere else, I can still use these points over and over again because they're likely to be found in the way that like they use standard candles in astronomy, a specific type of star to measure against for things. So that was my thinking on it, where it's like,
Mark.
It's got to be something that actually goes somewhere. It can't be a fixed point. And our origin is always going to be a new different spot because we're moving. So now you get to know exactly what I was thinking for that in a way that never comes up in the show. And no one ever addresses it.
No, not at all. And so the location, the gates at those locations would have the corresponding combination of the details that were around it. and those details could be transmitted down the track
Yeah.
of Stargates, because there was a series of them that threaded through the galaxy as like Destiny was going down a set of train tracks.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
And now you're already thinking about it harder than I did.
There you go. Well, I mean, I'm thinking, okay, so the solid circle must represent like a certain planet type. The circle with a hole in it may represent a star. The squiggle must represent some kind of a phenomena, X, Y, or Z.
Yep.
And that because there were 3 or 4 or 5 different types of symbols, and it was just like,
I think it was about let's see if I can remember them. There was
Yeah.
there was a squiggle, a long straight line,
yeah,
a short straight line,
okay.
a small circle, a large circle,
And, a circle
and there
with
might have been
hole
a
in it.
third kind of circle.
There's had a hole in
So
it, like a donut.
yeah, there was 5 or 6.
Wow.
But no, that was it. That was all we were trying to do. It was just like, let's make a thing that looks interesting. People liked it. And that's what we ran with. So please enjoy this weirdness that is from someone who actually like, I enjoyed the work. I enjoyed what we were trying to make. I liked Stargate.
And you intuited that it would work too, because Mika picked up on it.
I didn't know whether it would work, but it was very satisfying to learn that it had worked in exactly the way I meant it to.
Wow. And I've been working on this show, I mean, since long before my godson was born, and I've never even considered what that was. So he's as old as the show, as SGU is. So,
Right.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for that. Man, all right. Let's go ahead and take a walk down memory lane, if you will take my hand. Like
Yeah.
Teal'c does with Jack on Tolana. So let me pull this up here. This is the props lockup.
It's one of them. It's the one at the model shop. Where that red X is on the poly sheeting, right behind there, across the way and up on the second floor, is about where my desk was. So.
Oh, you were upstairs.
Yeah, I was upstairs, but
Wow.
this is a familiar place to me, just from the very opposite point of view.
Wow. I remember so many of these crates with all the labels on them. Ancient laptops, Atlantis graphics. So much of this stuff, man. Is this one of your photos, or is this one of the PropWorks photos?
I think this is a PropWorks photo.
Okay.
I didn't actually take very many photos of here.
Okay.
So like we had most of the space, but then there was a section cordoned off for this stuff where they would come and store things.
Yep.
And I really remember on my first day taking a look in it and seeing like a big golf caddy, and instead of golf clubs in there, it was just swords.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I
remember that.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, this is a weird place. I'm into it though. And I'm like, that sounds like a great way to carry a bunch of swords.
Well, you got full of golfers, so it makes sense that those things would come in handy every now and then, because they're gonna do something with the clubs. Let me see
and
here.
that's another shot, just looking slightly to the left of the same spot.
Got it. Wow.
On the back wall.
Delta, is that a blender?
No, that's a drill press.
Ah, well, that makes sense. And we got some Wraith sinewy stuff here. Gosh,
Is this a TV?
Smelled. Evidently so. Yeah.
It's on a cart, so it's just like it's like
Let's go to
multimedia
class,
day in
kid.
school. Yeah.
Yep. That's it. And a sleigh bed frame. So that's what that is.
The thing is like, by the time I was working on the show, it was season 10. They had so much stuff.
I know.
Like, there were so many random weird things that they were keeping in case they need it again.
That's right, because you just never know what's going to happen next. Let's look at some items. I've organized them by SG-1, Atlantis, and Universe.
Okay.
If it was introduced in SG-1 first, it appears in the earlier show. It appears in that show. That's the rule of thumb. Here we go. And some of these we talked about last time, so we'll glaze over that a little bit. I'll bring up what we talked about, and we'll move forward from there. This was one of my Mark, it was so hard to let these go. Let me tell you, because we had only 4 of them. And these were for the Star Trek dream sequence in 200.
Yeah. And I have one here.
What?
because I have a spare.
I really hate you right now. But that's awesome. That is so cool. Look at that.
I have like 4 or 5 things from the show,
Yep.
all spares or
Yep.
extras. Like a year later, it's still sitting on the shelf. I'm like,
Sure.
I can pocket those because anything going missing, I have to replace.
Yeah.
And half the time, you put spares on the shelf, and you save things for later because small things go missing, and someone else comes back and they're like, I think I said this last time even. They're like, we need more of this, and I can just go, here you go. And they're
Yeah,
just
the
like,
crystals are in a red solo cup of this. You need this series? Okay, here they are.
basically.
Wow.
But yes, this is one of the few things I have.
Can you put it up to the
200 was one of
camera
the
right in front of you? There we go.
the
Yeah.
gold on it is actually wearing off because I've kept it in a drawer. But I mean, it's
yeah,
almost 20 years on this paint.
pretty soon.
Yeah, like it doesn't last.
And like I told you last time, some of my batteries and some of these props are still working. They're not as strong as they were, but you don't run them, and they, with temperature and everything else, they can retain a little bit of a charge depending on their construction. When you were using certain devices that would cost a little bit more money to create something, or maybe everything that you created, or maybe nothing, did you have to write down in a list somewhere what it was that you were using the resources for and log it?
No.
Or could you just go and make it?
We would just go make stuff. No, there was never like the organizational system for stuff like that was like, no, we don't have time for this.
Okay.
Like and I know I spoke about it last time, but like sometimes you'd like literally stop a project because they like canceled it.
Yep.
And you wouldn't even have time to clean that desk for weeks.
Wow.
Like you're busy with something else.
Oh,
then you get it done, and then you have like, oh, I've got an hour. I can clean that desk off, and because I didn't need that desk, I can go clean it off and get it ready for the next project.
Wow. Now, in the same category of occasionally, sometimes, always, or never, did other productions come to you and say, look, I saw this on the show. We need this. How much would it cost you to make that? Can we pay you for that?
I'd never be privy to that kind of information.
Okay.
Like
so you weren't creating. So as far as you know, you may have created something for like Defying Gravity that, was later on that show that because you were just creating it.
Those are the spacesuits, right?
They did create, they did have a spacesuit all their own on Defying Gravity for sure. And I know that was borrowed for another production. Maybe Defying Gravity borrowed it from somewhere else, but the Defying Gravity spacesuits, which PropWorks sold, were not the same ones from Stargate. They were a kind all their own. They had lights built into them.
They were,
and
but I
everything.
think we made them too. I know we
may have
worked on
made
that
them.
show.
That's what I mean. So you do have some of that information. Okay.
No, and while we were working on this, there was an aspect of like on the side we were working on a few other productions in town.
Wow.
So I did get to work on a handful of things, especially in the off season. There'd be people working on stuff.
Yeah.
After or like when Tron Legacy was in town.
Yes.
We had to say no because we were busy building a universe gate. So I didn't get to work on Tron. That would have been cool.
Good movie.
Like I saw plans and everything. We were getting ready to do it, and then we're just like, no, we're not going to have time.
I have a friend of mine who bought one of the discs or the hero. Is that what they're called? The discs, the things that you throw. Yeah,
sure,
no,
yeah.
What a magical show. We sold for Defying Gravity. We sold a rabbit, a bunny, still in its embryonic like phase. He's like this big, and then a plexiglass crate around it, and like little water dish and everything. It was some bizarre stuff, but it's a good show, even though it ran for way too short. That's cool, man. Let's have a look at the Ark of Lies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some would call it the Ark of Truth.
Some would, but they would be wrong. So, and the Jaffa lines. We now establish how far those lines go back. They are all the way back to another galaxy.
Yeah, I now I'm remembering I made the lines for this like that panel. Like I actually did those all on a laser cutter.
Wow.
Like you pull back and you get like a wider beam and softer beam, and you can just scribe that line across. So it's a bit messy, but that was actually a really fun job.
This was metal. This was metal. This was like a rubber, like a thick.
I don't know if that top bit was it metal?
Was it metal? Maybe it's
It
just a
might have just
sturdier
been
plastic.
it might have been Renshape, which is technically a foam with the same
Okay,
density as
this was
wood.
definitely designed to be carried this way, though. I mean, it was really okay. That makes a lot of sense.
So Renshape was it's the same density as wood, but it has a consistent consistency, so you can CNC it really easily.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, because you were saying you recognize that certain materials would cut, certain would cut up to a certain thickness, and then others you would have to wear a mask because it would cut like neoprene, but it's gonna be toxic.
Yeah. There's actually one of the pictures I've selected actually has some raw Renshape in it that we can talk about
Okay.
later.
Once we hit it, we'll hit it. Awesome. Let me go to this one here. Yeah. So each of these had little wires underneath that ran at the bottom of this so that when you press them, they could light. We got batteries for it. We plugged it in, but we were clearly missing something. There had to have been a radio controller that went with this, and to my knowledge, we never had that.
Yeah, there was a lot of these had radio controllers. Some of the PropWorks photos that I didn't select that you have do have some photos of radio controllers that like
there'll be a couple in these. People will get a chance to look
I
see what they
made
look like.
I made all the setup for what the front of the radio controller is for the person designing the back, but I remember doing some of the details on this, like all the little vinyl letters on this in Ancient. And yes, they were pressable buttons.
Yep, every one of them, because you didn't know what kind of combination they were going to use, so you gave them maximum flexibility on set.
I think we actually did for this one. Like sometimes we would actually get a note on the concept art, or we'd get a note saying like it needs to type this.
Like truth in this case, it was the ancient word for truth. So
yes,
I think there were 7 symbols on here that were lit up. So this one did not correspond to the font substitution for English.
I think it was Veritas.
That's it. It's also a font. They're very
so
nice.
I think
very
it was Veritas
nice.
was what we had to type for that. Man, this is looking through some of these pictures has been really weird because like there's things I haven't thought about.
Dude,
like they've completely left my mind for 15 or 20 years.
People are so scared to come on because they're like, I don't remember anything, and it's like, trust me, I have the secret sauces. Just let me
But
say
also
them.
like I don't care if I don't remember. I'll just say it.
Exactly.
It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. This cabling here, whoops. Yeah. Did this all have to be cut and painted and glued down? Because you can see the breaks in them here.
Someone else did that, and then I did all the sandblast mask bits in between them. Those little scribey lines.
That's what those are.
Yeah, sandblast mask is like it's like a 3 millimeter thick, soft rubber type stuff.
Is that so? That's this.
Yeah, that stuff. So it was great for laser cutting, and if you want to mask things, it was really good for that. But it also just makes really easy details that you can go and repair. But it does age poorly. So there was a lot of old props from the show where they used it for things, and it'd come back and I'd have to go and repair it because they're using it again.
Wow.
Like all the time. Like.
So is this a pattern in a computer that you lay down, or is this something? Okay. So you just create the pattern and then you can create it.
Yeah, and then physically. It just like send it to the cutter and it would cut it out.
Wow.
And then I'd have to weed the whole thing and then lay it on here.
I think I've got, there it is with it open. So I think we took this panel off and saw underneath it. I may be remembering completely wrong, but there were definitely that and lots of those things. And then at the bottom of this, you said that you designed what was inside of that. So, and we'll see that in just a moment here.
I was excited for that part.
Absolutely. Because it's a big reveal in the show, in the movie, in the cave. It's like, what is it? Oh, it's acrylic pieces. There they all are.
I don't think you even see it.
You do. Yeah, you do.
Okay, good.
They lean into it and they're just confused. They're like, oh, it's a piece of technology. Okay. That is so cool.
I've only actually watched the film once, so it's.
There you go.
And it's been a long time.
Did you watch it with production, with everybody there?
Yes.
Okay.
I think.
Were you at the one for
actually,
Continuum?
I'm not sure I went to the premiere for that one. I went to the premiere for Continuum.
I was there too.
And I watched that one again at least twice.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there was a family member who was like, can we just watch this and have you tell stories about it the whole time instead? And I was like,
cool.
Yeah, we can just do that.
For sure. Yeah, no, that was the week of the Creation Vancouver Stargate convention, and it was
Okay.
that weekend, and Brad and Rob invited us up, and we were thrilled. So I technically saw Continuum before I saw Arc of Truth. So, all
Hmm.
right, and there's the side view of it.
Yeah.
It's already got scuffing. Like we on all of our listings, we said the prop is sold as is and may have
Well,
production
like
marks and scratches.
some of those scuffs, like the big silver ones right on the edge there,
Uh huh.
that stuff, that's intentional.
Yep. Wear and
That
tear.
was,
Yep. It's
but
supposed to be
yeah, no,
millions of years old.
yeah. If anything, it should have more wear on it.
Exactly. But it's ancient, so you know. That was the thing that always confused me about Atlantis. They had the first season. Weir says, "Can we please get rid of the 10,000-year-old dead plants?" And it's like there would have been dust on the floor after 10,000 years. So those are some really sturdy ancient plants to make them look only like a few years
The
old.
thing we see about like erosion is if it's indoors
Yeah.
and there's nothing to stir the air.
Yeah. Right. And it's alien, but it's alien plants on the top of that. So there's no one-to-one correlation per se. All right. So this is, whoops, dang it.
Yes.
There it is.
I literally haven't seen this since I made it.
Wow. Yeah, and it has a light sheet underneath it, so you can
Yep.
plug it in, and boy, was it bright. There's the cable for it. It's like, boy, was it bright. So they may have actually used this to, maybe not, but they may have.
No, they didn't.
They didn't use it to shoot the light at Julian?
No,
Okay.
the idea that this was removable was so that they could put a really big light in instead.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, because you can see where it unscrews, so you can switch it
Yeah.
out. I think that we sold it with the larger piece. It may have been separate. I'm not sure. But that is cool.
But yeah, this was it was literally like the last day, and they were like, "Hey, we need to figure out what the inside is. Mark, quick, figure something out."
Wow.
So I did this that day,
And you
and
put a
it's
light
like,
sheet under it, and they never used that element.
um,
Interesting.
I no, because if they ever shot any of this, it would have been with the light underneath it on.
Okay. The only time that it turns on is when Julian is being shot in the face with it.
Yeah, so no, you don't ever see this.
Wow. Yeah, just the acrylics on the top. That's cool. Because when I saw it, I knew exactly what
Oh,
it was. You hear, oh, Mark, I have a general question. Do you have any idea how they protect actors when they fire bright, bright, bright lights in their faces?
no.
I don't know either. Because I know what it's like to just have this one shining on me, but when you have something that blasts so bright, maybe they do it in post-production. Maybe that's how they make it work.
I think some of it is like that light that they have in the that scene where they blast the guy. Like some of it is a very intense light, some of it is post-production.
Okay.
And isn't he wearing like lenses already?
He
Maybe they just
is.
have fully opaque ones.
Yeah, it's possible they could have given them that for sure. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but yes, part of it probably is someone who's just gonna get a lot of light in their face and be careful with that. Though that does lead into a fun story I don't have any pictures for.
What's that?
For the end of Atlantis season 3, when Elizabeth Weir gets blasted and the glass all glows everywhere, for the stunt actor, they actually had like a plastic face shield for her that we quickly developed. And the prototype for it, because we had been doing some 3D scanning work, there was like a little thing that they'd chosen my face for. So they quickly did up the prototype and did it with my face and like and like put some little bubbles for eyes and put it on. It was like, how comfortable is that? Does that work? They did the prototype for me because we were going to see whether we could bring her in, scan her
Yeah.
face, make one for her. And so it was like, let's test this. We've got Mark's face ready to test with. Let's go. So we did the prototype for me. It worked. I was like, yeah, it's fine. You can see, you can move. And then we brought the stunt woman in, scanned her face, CNC'd out a thing to mold from, molded her face, put it on her, and then she went and got a giant pile of fake glass in the face.
Canned
And
glass, which still hurts.
oh yeah, but like it protects her face.
Mhm.
And the only time I got to visit the Atlantis set was like 2 days after that. and there was still glass everywhere. They'd had professional cleaners come in, and they were trying to get rid of everything, and you'd still, like, in nooks and crannies, you could see bits and pieces of it.
With Dirt Devils. Wow. It was a big shot. And they did it in one take, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the one take, and it was a lot of parts of glass everywhere.
Man. But it's an incredible shot. It really works.
It was a fun way to figure out the technology on the fly, to be like, how do we keep people safe?
Yeah.
Because you've got to keep people safe. It's important.
And we're going to see some examples of candy glass here fairly soon, because you made props with it. The team made props with it fairly.
I didn't actually make much candy glass.
Oh, okay.
But continue.
I will show you. This
Yeah.
next one we spoke about last time. The is either the IOA or the NID. I think it was the IOA created this replacement Asgard core crystal, which
Yes.
I originally thought was an SD card with the just the guts pulled out and put in here, but you said it was from a Nintendo VR.
Virtual Boy,
which you later found out. You didn't know that when you got it. It was just in a bin of spare
Yeah.
parts.
The Virtual Boy forum contacted me, and they were like,
Wow.
"Hey, is this our thing?" And I was like, "Hey, I actually built that, so I'm the person to ask." But yeah, here's the picture of it. That was actually a little bigger than an SD card.
Oh, it was. Okay.
So yes, it's the same shape, but it was actually a slightly larger size.
Okay. Was there consideration to do just an SD card? Because, I mean, it would have made sense for us to see those, just like we saw, USB Wraith devices with USB things on them for cross compatibility.
I made a lot of those USB devices.
Yeah.
USB to everything stuff all the time.
Exactly.
But
Area 51's got to be doing
no,
something.
for that because it was going into a piece of Asgard tech in the ship, it had to match the Asgard crystals.
I see.
So that's what it was. And it was like, hey, we've got these old Asgard crystals that are like from season 3 or 4 when Thor shows up. Like, that was when that shape had been established. So It's like, no, we're matching that shape. It has to go into that kind of thing. This is what it is.
Yeah, it's an apple.
Oh,
it's just an apple
They've
shape.
lost me again?
What? No. You're broadcasting audio.
Okay. Someone said we can't hear Mark, and someone else can hear him. Okay.
We can hear you just fine. Hang on just a second here. Let me switch something around.
Someone else can. Yeah, okay, they can hear me now. It was probably just them.
Okay, good, guys. Don't freak us out like that. All right, very good. They may be what they're doing is they're watching back in time. So if you're not current, folks, yes, that's the case. All right, continue, please. Yeah, so the Asgard shapes, basically that shape to it, we just always call it, like, if you slice an apple, that's basically what that shape is. So
yeah.
Whoops. All right, I keep going back to that. Okay, Stargate Continuum. This was Baal's time traveling. It's a solar flare detector.
Yes.
He put satellites in orbits over a ton of stars across the galaxy, and then he went back in time and changed history to the way he liked it, and then for some reason went and completely made the same thing over again, probably just in case he wanted to do some tweaking. And it's got Stargate at the pieces at the bottom of it here. So you've taken design elements from the movie and just brought it in. So.
And then if you look on the top, on the 2 wings, there's those little monitors sticking up on the side.
Yes.
No, right above them, those boxes. There's a little monitor stuck in there, and then it's got the little Naquadah lines on the panels.
It does.
That's the part of this I did.
Okay. Naquadah lines. I prefer that to Jaffa lines. Really cool.
That was what we called them.
Okay. Phantom calls them Jaffa lines, but you're more accurate because there were no Jaffa in the movie.
Man, it's weird having this stuff pop up in your brain again.
Yeah. And you're invoking
don't even
the
think about
pyramid shapes here. Look at that. That's so cool.
So like that part would have all been done over in the construction shop. 2 doors down. And then all of this stuff was our team. Oh, I did do something on that. There's the little bit on the middle with the little 4 octagons just below that. And then all the buttons with all the gate symbols on them.
Yeah, all the gate symbols. Yep.
And those all would have lit up when pressed.
Yep, absolutely. There's Baal's symbol. That's probably
Right.
the symbol. Oh, you know what that is? That's Praxion. It's got to be. It's got to be the point of origin for Praxion, because that's
Yeah.
where this is. That is so cool. And you've got Earth down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember there was
So you
like
dial
no, we need Baal's
Destiny.
symbol on one of them. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, cool.
Baal could have gone to Destiny, because Destiny, the ninth symbol is Earth is the point of origin. So that is
That would have been a good
awesome.
show.
Yes, Baal on Destiny. Cliff would have been all over that. Wow. Man. Yeah, and then there was a projector, I think, inside, which would have put the
Yeah.
stuff up here. Yeah. Just little, I think it was ancient. I think the text, if I'm recalling correctly, the text was ancient. But
I don't remember.
I may be wrong. So cool.
Again,
There it is.
part of it is I never saw that projector lit up. That happened after it left our shop.
Okay.
Like, I think they would have come in once and checked that the projector would have fit correctly, and that would have been it.
That would have been it. I'm sorry, Baal. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Yeah. That look was not lost on us.
Very cool. The BFG, the Big Effin Gun, was the name that the at least the set decorating team called this. Do you recall that being the name as well?
Oh yeah, everyone called it that.
So this is one of the I called it a micro Naquadah generator or reactor, put on which was installed on the top of it because you guys made a smaller one, and then you had this panel here, which was removed for the photo shoot here, was never, and lit on the inside, just like everything else lit up, was never, not once, shown on screen. We went and checked in every scene that it's in. You never see it. And you guys had an access port there with a heat sink on it that you could pull off. And it was just one of these most beautiful pieces, and all of your work is on the inside.
Yeah, the stuff on the inside is my work. And yes, sometimes they tell us to make things, and then on set they just go, "No, that doesn't work for what we're shooting," and that's okay.
Yeah, because they had to open it up the first time we saw it in Bounty, and they're working. They're trying to fix it on stage, and you could pull the pieces out, and it's a beautiful. There's online. If you go online, we have a video of going through and showing off your work specifically, where we remove each of the pieces, because something was rattling around when we got it, and we're like, "What's making that noise?"
Oh.
And you don't know because there's no hinges or screws. It's all rare earth magnets to put you.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have known to pull the heat sink off to grab that and look underneath, and there it was. So fortunately, we were like, "That's got to be." So we just started pulling on things. Eventually, we started realizing that you guys had designed stuff that never made it into the show. So we were always careful to, like, if something was a large object, to see if we could pull on drawers that were hidden in things like the Gould consoles and all the various stuff that was there. Just amazing work, dude.
Or you're going to undo a lot of double-sided tape.
That's true too. Oh, I already had a higher resolution photo. Little bit of that.
The other thing I remember about this thing was that handle on the side was a late addition.
Oh, this one
because
here?
the original drawing for it just had a handle on the bottom, and it was the first time I saw it, I was like, no, people can't hold something this big that way. That doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
We're gonna need this. No one believed me, and then when they finally put it together, they're like, oh, yeah, no, it doesn't work at all. And I'm like, told ya.
Because it's configured for a tripod underneath here, but
Yeah.
Sam, she doesn't pivot it and then lean it down, because you could only do this with it. So she has to dismount it and then aim it to shoot it at the guy, which for some reason it shoots green. So way cool, man.
What color it shoots is definitely the kind of stuff where I don't get to see that until it airs. Like,
that's a post-production.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
What a beauty. And none of them were broken, but they had definitely been rattling around. So, and you got the hex keys. I'm surprised I don't have a photo of, I don't have a picture of the heat sink. We just took it off. So, but yeah, go over to the PropWorks YouTube page and look up BFG, Bravo Foxtrot Golf, and you'll find it. So we had a ton of these, and let me tell you, Mark, it was really interesting with eBay posting so much of this stuff because it was like prop C4. It's not
Yeah.
actual C4. There's no plastic explosive in here.
It-
It's just folded cardboard together. So look at the technical descriptions,
Yeah.
everybody. And things like Wraith eyes, like contact lenses we couldn't sell. We've had that conversation before. But this is, I was surprised you pulled this.
Well, because like, yeah, it's like it's a thick paper. It's printed with that, and I mean, depending, there might be modeling clay inside if you actually got
Yeah.
to pierce it on set,
Yeah.
or it'd be 2x4.
Manufactured July 28th, 1999.
Like it'd just be a block of wood if we needed it to be heavy and
Yeah.
sturdy, and like it'd be funny because we just like, oh yeah, we need to make some more C4, and someone would
Yep.
hand me some sheets, and I'd be like, okay, I'll go to the table saw.
Yeah, just folded them up. Yeah, if you could, crunch your fist down on this, you'd destroy it immediately. It's just a little empty box.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
We had a high quality 3D printer in 2007, and this was some of our early test work trying to figure out what it could do.
Yeah, so why wouldn't you use it? Absolutely.
It was 2007, so it was still not a very well working 3D printer.
It looks pretty darn good, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it looked great.
Furling.
Yeah, this is the Furling setup for the actors inside.
Wow.
So they had that helmet, they had the mask, and then they had the control pieces rigged up.
Wow. We could hear the servos inside of the ears, but we had no like radio controllers for it. But we would move and then we'd go, wee, wee. And it's like, okay, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to lock them into a position. But really cool. Giant koalas. Wow.
Oh, you can see a piece of the concept art in the corner on that one.
Oh, yeah. Looky there. I've never
Yeah.
seen that. Makeup.
Probably. And then there's a piece of Renshape at the top middle, that pink stuff.
Oh, okay.
So it's a very dense foam,
Okay.
and it's as hard as wood, and but you know, if you try and like take a drill bit through wood and you hit a knot, like all sorts of bad things happen. This is just a synthetic replacement for that.
Wow. So cool. And now, Summer, you have an answer to your question. How many teeth do Furlings have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There you go. Ah, look, there it is. Yeah, giant koalas.
Yeah.
And some tech on their arms. I don't think we saw them wearing any tech. Man, look at that in the ears.
There was a console they were working with,
There was,
or two,
yes, but I mean
in
wearable
the
tech, yeah.
in the scene.
Yep. Out of tree trunks. Neat. Rotate this. Wow. How
Yeah, it was fun to watch this come together, but like the early stuff with the scanning, I did a little bit of work on, and then the rest of it was like other people in the shop. But these are fun pictures. Everyone loves the Furlings.
Yep.
And
they are furry.
And because I had watched the first 4 seasons by chance the year before I started working on it, I knew exactly why everyone was excited for this. So it was a lot of fun, and it was helpful to be able to say why everyone was excited
you could
for
share
these.
it with the model shop, yeah.
Well, but because some of the other people building had no
Correct.
concept of why this would be important. It's like, no, people have been waiting to see these guys for 10 years.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that's one of the actors on set taking a break. He's sitting on a piece of wood or something there.
Wow.
And there's the 2 actors with 3 of the 4 members of SG-1, because
Wait, what?
someone didn't have a shaved head at that point, and they just were going to film from the back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Didn't even occur to me. That's not Herbert, is it?
I don't know who it is.
Okay. It doesn't look like Herbert Duncanson. Interesting.
All they needed was someone that height and
Yep.
and with his head from the back, because like they were like, no, we're not going to get wow, my name's blanking.
Christopher? Yeah.
Yeah, they
To shave his
were
head
like,
for just one scene.
we're not going to get Chris to shave his head for just the one scene because we need him for all sorts of other stuff too.
Yep.
So we're just doing this. We're just going to get someone else, shoot him from the back. It won't matter.
He would have been easy enough to put a bald cap on. Yeah, there you go.
I wasn't privy to it. I saw the
Exactly.
pictures.
Oh, for sure.
I saw these pictures like the next day.
Yep.
Because one of the other prop makers had gone on set to do the remote control for the ears and stuff.
Yep.
And mind all the costuming. And they shared these pictures the next day. Like, this is what happened yesterday down at the park where it was.
In so many ways, this is the best episode of the show. In so many ways. All it is just a Valentine.
Oh, it's a love letter to all the things everyone loved. And it, because it was one of the first episodes I got to work on, I'm sitting there, I'm getting to build what? I'm doing this now?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
I've got one of these.
Yep.
That was so much fun. I'm getting really dark in this room.
Sure
I'm
is.
gonna turn on some
Like
lights
your
behind
soul.
me.
Okay.
There we go.
Continuum. So
Yeah.
after the Goa'uld, we've been hearing about Tok'ra extraction since maybe season 3 or earlier, because Chlorel, it happens to him, and apparently it's been a thing at this point because Landria's seen one done. He says it'll blow your mind and everything else. But then we see it, and it's like the Goa'uld passes through an eye of a needle before it ends up in this thing, which was expressed on screen as like CG bubbles until they the Tok'ra leader smashes it on the ground, and this is the one that was destroyed. What we're seeing here. So.
Yeah. What I found interesting about the pictures of these is like they all looked like they were still full of what I think was just like KY jelly.
Yeah.
But like that one clearly had something happen to it with like it dried out and it actually, because it was airtight, like sucked in.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
from the heat of being where it was stored.
Maybe.
But it was only a couple of years before we got it. Not even that.
Yeah, but I'm like, if KY jelly had anything to dry out with, or if it was hot on set and then cooled down, that might have happened to it afterwards.
It may have been left in someone's car. So there's something weird.
If anything, it would have been left in the enclosed back of a cube van, which would be much hotter.
Okay. But yeah, there were different versions, and different parts to it. I thought that was kind of an interesting shape, this whole thing in here.
But that is weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of these other things is these are all spare parts.
Yep.
Like those are bits of Renshape that I was talking about. This was the one I knew, but I'm like, I'm assuming some of these spare parts would have gone in the bin of spare parts for the set, but like these ones wouldn't have because they're not prepared.
Mm-hmm. They weren't even ready
How
to
did
go.
you get these?
We were grabbing stuff, that they authorized us to grab. So this was a part of, if they created it and there was a chance that we could sell it, they let us have it. We sold a Jack O'Neill mock-up of the puppets, and it's clearly Jack's face on it, but the only thing that's rendered is his hair, and everything else is just and he's got a little wooden stand and wooden dowels for all the parts to make work. And Martin Wood and I have yet to have that conversation about that particular piece, but
I remember making all the little all the military uniforms had like little the little service medals or whatever they're called, like the little bars, and then the little like
for Hammond,
little bits and pieces for those. I got to make all those.
Wow,
it's a lot of fun. I live by the words of Puppet General Hammond: spinning is so much cooler than not spinning.
That's right. One of the best lines from the whole show. It has to spin. It's round.
Yeah.
So we talked about how these denaturate really quickly. These little joints. And all you said, it's just latex, leather, or rubber gloves.
I think it was a different medical one.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, like it was, and it was like every time we would have one of these go to set, you'd have to carefully pull the last one off and
Yep.
put a new one on because they do not last.
Yep. Fans have been trying to
So
make a
much of the stuff
durable
just
replacement for years, and I don't know if they've figured it out.
so much of the stuff just doesn't last. You
Mm-hmm.
can't keep it the way it is, like the sandblast mask or
Mm-hmm.
that the Gould extractor thing.
They wear
They're
out,
designed to work on set that day,
and then that's all.
and that's it. And so
Yeah.
it's there's an aspect of maintaining these props that is like you can't keep them the same. You can't.
And you only needed to do these for the ones that opened and closed. Once they're in the closed position or the open position, the actors have those. Like the locked to open position have the
Yes.
rubberized sections. So you only need these for the ones that are going to transform. And these were one of the later series because it was servo based, whereas the first ones were air compressed. So and
Yes.
we sold both kinds.
Yeah.
So look at the
Uh,
paint job on that. That is so cool. So you have this
I
gold
I
underneath and then this black on top.
one of the servo ones, I know where one is. I've gotten to use it.
Wow. Very cool.
But yeah, there's so much about these props where they're designed to work on set that week.
Yeah.
They're not built to last.
Yeah, we had to be very careful with anything that was electronic because it was really easy to damage it.
Yeah.
You can see
But yeah, no,
the
I
buttons.
picked the pictures of the ones that aren't looking very good because
Yeah.
they never looked like that on set, but they age out and they don't last.
And these were photographed in 2010. So as you can see the hex keys.
Yeah.
So
So some of the other pictures from that same period, they're in better shape, but this was the whole collection, not just the one I was repairing, because I would usually just get one. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a shot with a Zat gun today. Can you fix one up for
yeah.
the shooting?
Here's one of the ones that were static.
Yeah. And usually we would sometimes do those ones up too if they had one that was looking bad already.
Sure. Yeah. Cannibalize it. I'm assuming that this was the power cell, just like the staff weapons were.
I don't know, man.
Yep.
It's the purple bit on the end.
So radio controller, there you go.
Yeah,
That is
there's
how,
one.
and they just put the buttons on there, and then little labels to assign each. You could make it fast, you could make it slower, you could make them overload. Who was the guy who designed all of the electronics? Was that Paco? No.
No. Um, we had another person. Again, I don't really want to name everyone
Okay.
because they've generally been uninterested in this, even
Okay.
when I've talked about it. But we had one guy who was just doing electronics all the time. So he would make that controller, he'd get the little box for the controller, and he'd be like, here's a diagram for where all the buttons are, and then I'd make that front plate to go on it.
Wow. Yeah, and then these ends popped off. So little rare
And I
earth
believe
there.
that person is still working with Paco. Paco has his own shop now, and
Wow.
I sent him a question earlier this year from a prop collector.
Very
Uh,
cool.
so
If
I
it's
still
anyone that I'm going after from behind the scenes, it's the sound guys at Sharp Sound. I've done everything I could to get them on, but they're the two people who were chiefly responsible for Stargate. They're still there, and every time I call, they're in the studio editing. It's like, there you go. So you're in
it's a
business.
job, right?
It's a
You're still
job.
making money.
Yeah, yeah. They're good at what they do.
I'm getting really dark here.
You are.
There we go. That better?
There we go. All right, and you look like a Tok'ra now. That's perfect.
Sure. I've got different colors. It's just a little LED light set up here.
There you go. It works. Whoa. Is this the front of the prop shop? The model
This is the
shop?
front of the model shop. We had a room in there that was
Wow.
really nice. In the later seasons, it turned into an office so we were in a part of Burnaby away from Bridge
Okay.
Studios, and across us was the old Norco Bikes factory building that had been turned into extra film sets
Yep.
for Stargate.
Yep.
Um, and
Here's the
then
double-ended staff right there, right in the middle there.
uh, after a couple, and so there were offices in there for a bunch of people.
Yep.
And then when they stopped using it for that, and it turned into Amanda Tapping's show, Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. Yep.
They filmed there, like all of it. That was their office. That was their studio. That was everything. They filmed everything on that one lot. It was remarkable what they did.
As Peter DeLuise called it, Snorko.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But yeah, so this turned into offices later. But for the first couple of years, it was just a display room. So we put stuff we had on display here, and anyone coming in would get to see a bunch of cool stuff.
Yep. So the this is Anubis, the Jackal. This never, believe it or not, appeared ever in the television series. I don't know who it was built for. I don't know if you guys got it from the feature film.
It was that and the other two were from the film.
But the Horus appeared throughout the series. So it's like, for whatever reason, this one made the transition, but whoops. But this one did not. And guess which one ended up on the cover of Volume 1 of the 2 catalogs? This guy right here. I'm like, we're putting something on the front here that never showed up. We sold it, saying that it was stock from the movie, which is what we figured that it was. But I was like, I was overruled. So there we go.
I expect that, like you said, the electronics were fragile and they didn't survive, and that's why it never plays even here.
This is static. This is a rubber mold.
Okay, but yeah, like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't write.
I'm not expecting you to. Yeah, I was just curious about that. What's interesting is these ears just kept on falling off, and so we had to keep on getting epoxy. So,
I remember that was true too.
Yeah. So it wasn't the first time they fell off. So we had a prop guy on our team at PropWorks, because the idea was we were going to start getting a license to sell props, and so he stuck around for like a year and a half, didn't make one thing, made a ton of money without having to make anything. But one of the things that he did was repair stuff for us, and he was like, okay, I got some epoxy for this, I'll reattach it, it'll never come off again, never. And this guy was one of those guys where it was like, he was so sure of himself that he really had to watch out, because if something didn't happen the way he said it would, we went for him, and those things fell off all the time.
Yeah, I'm hearing that, and I'm going, no, gluing stuff together does not work great.
Yeah,
it really doesn't. Attaching things to something else in an interesting way is hard.
That's right.
You know what was really hard to attach stuff to?
What's that?
These guys.
Oh.
Because they're just a little acrylic piece.
Yeah, and you had like a little pin on the back of it. Yep.
Yeah, and it was like, how do we attach the pin? I don't even remember what we actually did in the end.
You have that adhesive, that like industrial strength adhesive now that you can get, where you select the number of pounds that you want it to put, and just get whole sheets, and it's clear, and you just put it on. But I don't think that was really commercial back then.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, sticking stuff to each other is hard. Like I said, lots of double-sided tape.
Yeah.
Like, we went through rolls of that stuff.
For sure.
But it also means it's easy to repair, but it's hard to maintain for long periods of time under hot lights.
Exactly. So with this, we already talked about the story where this was one of the first things that you did in terms of backlighting for these crystal pieces here.
And
cool.
You know what? We can relate it to the thing I was just saying, because this was one of the set this was on, the Ori Bridge.
Yep.
Was one of the things on one of the Norco sets.
Yep.
And this was the time where I'm like, you know what? I know they're not shooting right now. I'm just going to go sneak over there and take a look at what's going on and walk through these sets.
You took this photo?
No, I didn't take this photo.
Oh, okay.
This was probably done in the same room as the ones just before.
Got it. This chair was not stable. Just look at it.
Actually, I think I know who has this chair.
Yeah, there's we didn't sell it, but I'm sure it was. So yeah, it's a beautiful piece.
I think I know who has this chair, but it was but getting to sneak over and see it in the set was like the first time I got to see a set at all, was seeing this thing. And I think one stage was like a Gould shuttle, and the third stage was Atlantis season 3. At the beginning, they're on a Wraith ship.
Yes. Yeah, the Hive ship.
Yeah, they're on the Hive ship, but like the set that they had from season 2 at the end when they're on the Hive ship and the set from the beginning of season 3, they're completely different. We built a whole new one.
Yeah. Yeah. Hewlett, he left for the season and came back for season 3. And we remember talking to him. And he was like, the Wraith ship is cut this year. Like, it is so muscly.
Yes.
That's what he said.
What's weird is like when I was on it, like it was full of color. It was all bright red and vibrant, and it looked amazing. And then when they light it, it's all this very dark purple. Like you could barely see it.
Wow. Because that's the way they want it.
But yeah, there was a lot of work for that, and I was over helping them with some of it. It looked super cool. It was a lot of fun.
Anti-Replicator guns. So Jack had his in season 8 for New Order 1 and 2, which was later reused in Gemini. And then this one appeared, I think its first appearance was in Continuum with, I don't know if it appeared in Continuum first or in Atlantis season 3 first. No, you know what? Yeah, it had to have been Atlantis season 3.
It was Atlantis season 3 because Continuum was the next year.
Yep, that's right. During production was season 4 of Atlantis. So this stock collapsed in and out.
Yep.
I think this, I don't know if it was with this one. I think it was. And then this turned here to turn on and off. There were several settings to it, like, you know, I suppose stun the replicator and kill the replicator. And then these lit, and then the front was just a plastic piece that was fitted on. These were heavy. And
yes, they are.
You had stunt ones, and you had metal, like that were also rubber and metal ones, or yeah, because this here at the bottom was attached. You know, that was generally this.
But yes,
here was
the hero ones were just like a block of aluminum.
Yeah,
they're very heavy.
Yeah, and then the little carving and everything else.
And then yeah, no, I was doing all these laser etched details on it into the paint.
Just a beautiful piece that you literally pinch these and the thing pulled out, so you could.
Oh yeah, it was, that action was wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, there's video of me on Como News demonstrating it. So, out of Seattle.
But yeah, they were very heavy, and I remember the prop master that year, Dean Goodine. I think he has a book out this year. I got to go read it.
Yeah, it's been out for a couple of years. Yeah.
He had a book. I was looking him up this year because I live near a place that's filmed constantly here in Greater Vancouver, and I ran into some people on a set and was talking to them, and we got talking about people we both knew, and Dean came up, and I looked him up, and he had a book from a couple of years ago. I'm like, oh, I should go read that. It's on my list.
They don't pay me to something. I forget what it was.
They don't pay me to say no. That's
it. And there's a picture of him holding a cow.
Yeah.
Prop. Dead cow prop.
But yeah, I remember he came back and he was like, yeah, these things were so heavy, and some of the actors did not like it, and some of the actors who were much smaller were running around with them all day, one in each hand, like a pro.
Sangraal crystal. Why'd you pick this one? Did you design the box?
I designed the box, and it was definitely one of those things where I'm like, I didn't I've not thought about this for 15 years at all. I was like, wait, I built these things. And the first picture I saw was the larger box that has nothing in it. And I'm like, what went in here again? And I'm like, oh, no, right. It was those little red orbs that were really important to the plot. Yeah. This is a big important thing, and I've forgotten it.
So the other box was for communication stones.
Was it? Okay.
Yep, from Identity, I think. I think it was Identity. At the end of Atlantis, but this one was from. It was the episode where Daniel we get him back, but he's a prior. The Shroud. So Merlin, when he designed the whole apparatus, he was nice enough to design a box for the Sangraal before he died.
Him and me, but yeah, because like I think the designs on the outside.
That's what I mean, yeah.
I don't know if that actually was in the drawing.
Very cool.
But it was one of those fun things where I'm like, oh yeah, I made this thing. I forgot about it.
Yeah, it would make it interesting. So this is this is the location SG-1 gate. So you can see the Atlantis. Whoops. The
Uh,
Atlantis section
I,
right here.
I
That
just
was
saw
one
gate
third.
pictures, and I'm like, everyone wants to see gate pictures. Actually, hang on.
Yep, this is
That
where
thing
it was
over
in
on the
lockup
side is
with me.
from the season 3 Wraith set.
This
I
one here,
remember
yeah.
building that.
Yep. Yep. And then you've got back here, you have the, we're going to see pieces of this later. This is the Asuran core with the acrylics that are on top of it. We've got
That's
highlights
what
of
it
those.
was.
And there are 9 of these sections. It goes, this is number 8. That's probably number 9.
Yep.
For the SG-1 location Stargate. And you've got the frame underneath the scaffolding that it went on. It took them a day to put up and a day to take down.
Yep.
So, and then back here, we have the Atlantis central core where the ZPMs were. This was made for Before I Sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, and this, I'm not sure what this is. This is a cabinet for something.
That's a cabinet, but it's the back of something. So
Exactly. No
because
clue
I
what
think
it
the
is.
dolly's attached to it.
Yep.
Yeah, that dolly's screwed into it.
Oh, there you go.
What is that?
I know what it is.
Oh, good.
It is the Asgard puppet from season 3. So when Thor was used in Fair Game, and you
Okay.
you open this thing up and it's his coffin and he's laying on the inside of it. And I didn't know why, but I think it was screwed on there that way to always keep him oriented up, so that when he was stored, he could be stored vertical, so that he wouldn't be stored on his head. That's why they did it that way. Man, the details that come back after just seeing something. You're right.
Yeah, it's been long enough that all of this is a weird trip.
Yeah. That's SG-1. We got 2 more shows to go. Let me pull this up here. So we were talking Candy Glass earlier. Candy Glass was made was used to create ZPMs in the season 1 episode Home, because McKay goes, and this, and he throws the thing over, and then he holds up the pieces of the ZPM to show it's a fake universe that they're in. And there it is. So
okay, so that's a Candy Glass one, because I was like, this one looks
we were
really rough.
very careful with it, and you can see the lines are completely different. They just used this kind of epoxy or whatever, whereas the other one was plastic lines.
Yeah, the other one was like it was like heat extruded ABS, like you would with a 3D printer now.
That's how it was done. Okay, because yeah, we'll talk offline, but yeah, this is all Candy Glass.
That's what this is.
Mm-hmm. Ancient pull-away panel.
Yeah.
I don't remember what this was to. And I haven't
It was
translated
in season
this.
3, and I remember it mostly because the box behind it, I wrote a secret message for a friend in it.
Really?
Yes. This was the friend who had lent me the first 4 seasons of Stargate right before.
Wow. Thanks for the DVDs.
I was out of town at an event for them that was really important. When I learned I got this job.
Okay.
So I was like, no, I'm like, and if you go hunting for it, you won't find it. It's obscure. There's only a handful of people who know what it is. But it was just like, no, there's a bunch of random shapes in here. I can make some of them slightly less random. And not be a really like obvious thing, but it was just like, hey, so when my friend watches it, I could be like, hey, this thing, yeah, here, let me tell you the notes to show you what it is. And they're like, cool.
That's cool. Wow. All the little details. I think these are to the museum in Bad Guys. I may be wrong.
Yes.
Okay, so this is in the wrong show. That's my bad.
That's okay.
Very, very cool.
And I have the key still.
You do? Look at that.
Because this was my prototype for Does It Work?
To put it right in front of you.
We made a small change for the actual ones, but so I kept my spare prototype. So I still know how to get in. I haven't watched it since, but that's my favorite episode.
I love Bad Guys.
I think
you're hostages. We're heavily armed. There's a whole school of etiquette to this. Don't eyeball me.
Yeah, like the whole thing's so much fun. Yep. I love like the whole like how everything's turned on its head.
Yep. And
it was a lot of fun.
You guys made it so that you could they could put something close to it and it would change color. So I don't know if like you put a sensor inside of the swipe, but there was a way to do it. So These had
I
batteries
don't
to them.
remember how that worked.
Because the
I think there might have actually been a
lights
sensor
were
in there
here.
that did actually like, hey, something passed through
Yeah.
and we're going to change color.
Yep. Sure did. Red and green.
And I would have made all the buttons for that as well.
This
Oh, hey,
is a crew gift.
yes, it is. I forgot to grab mine when I was grabbing stuff today.
Oh.
It's upstairs.
How cool is
I
this?
have I got an alarm clock a couple years later that accepts an iPod, and so I put music on it and I listen to that when I wake up every morning.
Apple's a long-lasting product. So
Uh,
the Vanir Asgard helmet. So this is the version that was made for First Contact and the Lost Tribe. Look at all the wear and tear on it. Look at all the aging. So you have to build something, and then you have to take what industrial, appliances and just damage it.
I think the mesh tubing on there is the only thing that's a pre-made part.
Wow.
Everything else is custom molded for this.
Wow. This is why they were $300,000 for the three of them.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot of work making those suits.
Wow.
It was a really big lift from our team to put those together.
And you had what, a month of pre-production? The month heads up for that?
I think it was 6 or 7 weeks.
Okay, good. They gave you some real runway. Because they did. That's not what they had when they built Prometheus sets for the first time. But that was the construction team.
Wow. Oh, that would have been rough.
Wouldn't it though? Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm so glad these are preserved in photography. Look at that.
I'm trying to think if I still have because one of the things we did was we 3D scanned these and made a digital model for them for the VFX team.
Yep.
And I think I might still have that somewhere.
Oh, the assets for them?
Maybe.
Very cool. And we were talking about the glow sticks last time.
Yep. They needed a gun, and like this was just like a little rubber cast gun thing.
Yeah, they're both rubber.
And they were like, we need them to glow, but like really simply,
no power. We can't run power down to them. The arms or the guns.
Yeah, so they just did glow sticks.
Yeah. The little
it works. And then the front just comes off, as you can see in the little bit below.
Yep. We just pop these off.
I don't know what that symbol is.
It's Asgard. It has to be Asgard.
It should be, but I don't know how to read it.
Completely differently. I can't read it either. And the Asgard, it's very, very different writing from the what's the Norse writing system called? I forget what it is. Chad, help me out here. All right. Speaking of,
yeah.
So this would come off. This one did not.
Yes, and I think we spoke about this last time. I glued those on, and they were like, "Are you sure? Because this won't come off." And I'm like, they were like, "No, we're never using them again. You're good to do this." And I was like,
"Okay."
Poor Thor.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what year this one was built. He was definitely used in seasons 9 and 10. So what we're masking here is all of the steel rods that go into his arms. And I think that's it. Maybe his legs as well. But we photoshopped all of that out, and then my buddy Lee, put these in to make it look like he was standing. He's on his back in this shot, and it was such a joy to be able to sell him, and such a travesty what happened to him. Whoever got him didn't take care of him, because I saw pictures of him later, and look at his little teeth.
Again, they're made of latex and stuff. It doesn't last. It's like what happens is what happens to them. It's hard to preserve. It's expensive to preserve, and even then, like you look at some of the old Muppet stuff, like latex doesn't keep.
Yep. No, you're right. It's just the guy who bought it said, "Yeah, I'm gonna get a nitrogen case for it." I'm like, "Oh, you did you?" So that's just what I'm lamenting.
Also, he bought it. It's his. He's allowed to do what he wants with it.
Sidebar. You fully endorse that?
100%.
There is a person in the prop community who buys things and then cuts them up and alters them.
They're allowed to do that.
Of course, they're allowed to do that. The question is, that I'm saying is, should they do that? You know,
100% it's theirs. They can do whatever they want with it. Um, I will say I've talked to some prop collectors who know you for your hard stance on that.
there we go. Because most of these, I have the hard stance on that, because the fact of the matter is, most of this stuff will outlast you, and those items will be
No,
reinvested back into the community, very likely, because whoever it is that has to get rid of all of your stuff, they're going to want to get, presumably, a good maximize their return out of it, and it's going to diminish the amount that it could potentially go for, because the provenance of the item has been damaged, if not destroyed. So I'm not saying that, not at all am I saying that when you get this, you have to sign something saying that you're never going to touch it. I'm not saying that at all. You're talking to a libertarian here who's very, very much, yeah, you can do whatever you want with it. What I'm also saying is that it's a dick thing to do. So those two things can exist simultaneously.
I understand what you're talking about, like diminishing its value. Yeah, totally. But also like one of the things I've been mentioning is like so many of these props, they fall apart and they degrade naturally on their own, or you'll get things where like we'll build something and then the lighting crew will come in and they'll put all their lights in it on set. And then when it's done, they will pull all their lights out and it comes with no lights when you buy the prop and you're like, how do I light it? I don't like people ask me this constantly and I don't even know the people to ask the answer to, let alone whatever light product it was 20 years ago, you probably can't even get. So you're just like, go find whatever. That's what I would do in the position when I would be asked for things like this.
To restore it to how it appeared on screen, not to alter it for its own
but even
sake.
so, I'm saying restoring it to how it appeared on screen is impossible. And I've worked with enough of taking old things from the show that we're using again in the show, and
For
we
production
can't
use.
restore them to how they were all the time. You make it work, you do the best you can. That is the nature of the process. And so when I see fans doing this, yeah, that's what we do. That's how it works. That's what it is. So there is no restoring it to what it was. We rework these things all the time. It's like taking a sandcastle and you pile up the sand just enough so you can take a picture of it at the top, and then it all falls down again. And then it's a bunch of work putting up new sand to do the same thing again.
So the Louvre can put a mustache on the Mona Lisa and you're completely fine with it.
That's not at all the same thing.
It's very much the same thing. You are.
Well, no,
You
because
are
they go in and they restore it as best they can when they
right.
rework these
They're
paintings.
restoring. They're not altering.
Yes, but can a private collector go and tear a painting in half? Yeah,
All
they
we're
can.
talking about
It's
is
there.
a question of law, not a question of what's right or what's wrong.
Again,
so these pieces are being held in trust for the future by the museums. What I'm suggesting is that, as someone who possesses a lot of these pieces, I'm recognizing that while many of these pieces will not outlast me physically, they will deteriorate beforehand. Many will not. And I feel I have an obligation to the future to take care of them if it is within my power. And I find a deliberate alteration of them to make them, for this individual that I know, look better in person is an affront and a violation of the work that was created. It's a piece of film and television history, and you have you should feel a responsibility to take care of it. I think it's the similar argument between like burning your country's flag. Sure, yeah, you can do it. I think that you, as a libertarian, I think that you should be able to. It's a dick thing to do. Unless you're specifically using it as a symbol for protest for something. I mean, you can have that argument as well, and that's my only argument with it. But yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you can. There's all kinds of things that you can do.
Yeah, well, what
And
I'm
then
trying to
there's
say is like
consequences
when
after.
people change it to like, hey, I need to light it, but I can't light it the authentic way.
Yeah,
The light's broken. I have to tear it apart.
yeah,
Like I actually have to damage it to even get in there
yeah.
to put lights in it. That's going to happen, and that there's an aspect of it that has to happen
Oh
and
yeah,
always will happen.
yeah. To
I see someone
restore.
in the comments talking about Banksy shredding a picture during the auction.
Hmm.
That's a great example of it. Where it's like, no, the art piece is that it was destroyed during the auction, not what people thought it was going into the auction.
You're gonna have to give some background. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, no, there was a Banksy painting in a frame.
Banksy that's an artist.
Yes. And
Okay.
it sold for millions of dollars at auction, live auction.
Okay.
And then someone remotely on Banksy's team or himself hit the button and it went through a shredder hidden in the frame.
Why? Was it designed to do that, or were they making a statement?
It was designed to do that, and they're making a statement. You should look up Banksy's work to understand more.
Okay.
He mostly started as a graffiti artist.
Okay. So it's the art is in the action itself.
Yes, and so part of that was like
Well, I
it
can
was a very.
appreciate that.
I think some of it was just like a no, like the people spending money on art. This is silly, you know.
Mhm.
Was one of the things he was trying to say with it. What I'm trying to say is like a lot of this stuff can't be preserved. You have to change it if you want to be able to have it work. Like
Yeah,
like
that's
getting
not
it.
what I'm arguing. That's not what I'm arguing for
Yeah, but
or
also like
against.
can people transform it and make it their own thing? They're allowed to.
Yes, they can.
Do
They are
do
allowed
people?
to. But I think that I think that there's a conversation to be had there as well about the future. Restoring, like damaging stuff in order to restore it with someone who's like really. May I give it a specific example of what happened to me? And please, God, let him not be watching. I have one of the 3 spacesuits that you guys built for the Vanir in my living room downstairs.
Yeah.
And stupidly, so stupidly, I plugged it in and had it run a lot. The first thing that I did, like every time I was home, not realizing LEDs from that early on had an even more finite lifespan than the ones that we have now do.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, oh my God, the chest piece went out. It burnt out. And my guy down the road, who I had rip off the back panel on the inside and install a power plug that I could plug into the wall for it, restoring the ability or creating an ability for it to run continuously as opposed to on batteries, said, yeah, that was going to happen. I'm like, shit. Okay, very good. And I said, okay, well, here's the box. I said, can you make this work again? He said, no, you can't. And I'm not sure if he was right, so I kept it for years and years. I've got it somewhere, but I returned it to him. This one the one that you guys made, it had holes in the front where the lights went through. The light went through, and that specific sequence. And I was hoping, I gave it back to him, and I asked him, restore this for me as best you can. And he said, got it, totally. So I got it back, and I can see bulbs, plastic fronts of the bulbs sticking through the holes. I'm like, that's interesting. And I plugged it in, and there's a square piece on that chest that was lit when it was on Atlantis, but was not backlit when it was on Universe. It was now lit up again. And it's got all these different Christmas lights colors going. And he says, look, I made it more colorful. And I said,
yeah,
yeah, you did. I sent you the video of the light sequence and which light goes where. And the prominence of this piece has been reduced by the alterations that you made without and one of the reasons that I paid you as much as I paid you, faithfully restoring it as best you could to the version that was in the show. And I don't know how much of that I told him. Similarly, I had the USS George Hammond plaque from the Hammond. Duh.
I think saw that picture in there, and I remember making a few small pieces for it.
Yep. And the paint job, the paint was scuffed and everything. And I had a friend who was very good with paint. And I was like, there's like 3 layers of paint. They're 3 different colors. She said, don't worry, I've got it. It came back. Amazing job. It's seamless. I turn it over. She's painted the back of it. And she said, she was like, yeah, I did a great job on the back too. I said, Jan, did you see all the stage instructions that were written here with pencil on the back, explaining details about the set and everything else? She's like, yeah, but I didn't think anything about that. I was like, okay. I appreciate the paint job that you did on the back for something that no one will ever see, but, and definitely it didn't show up on film, but at the same time, it's a lesser thing now than it was potentially when I turn around to share the story of this piece in the future, if I perhaps sell it on before which is more than likely going to happen. I'm going to sell it far sooner than my time on this earth. It's little things like that just frustrate me. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this.
Oh, my first thought is that is like part 1 of learning to let go when you're not in full control of working on a team. Someone else is going to do it differently. All the time. Every time. And I work on creative projects where there's 3 or 4 people above me and someone is like, I want to build this. And we all build bits and pieces that all aren't what they envisioned. And yet we all still have to move forward with it. And that's the creative process.
Oh, yeah.
So
you guys are the creators though. So it makes sense.
No, but I'm saying
stuff later for other productions.
But where you gave someone a direction to paint and they do it differently, there's an aspect of it that's maybe your contract for, hey, do it this way and how much instruction you give them. But it's always going to be different than what you envision. There's always going to be something that bothers you about the way it works. That is inherent to this process at all levels, all the time. And internally on this show, even, we would build something and it wouldn't be what they envisioned. And we'd go make revisions or we would not, depending on the time, money, and the decision going on. But that thing where it's never quite the same or never what you envision, that is always there. And it's always as strong as what you just described. And learning to move forward through that is a really important skill.
The pieces that prop collectors possess, they don't have them because, in some cases they have it because it was production made if it was never used on screen. Yeah. But a lot of us, pretty much everyone wouldn't own the piece or have paid as much money for the piece unless it had appeared on screen and is a slice of that show's history.
Yes, and
if it was reused later, that makes sense for another project. That makes sense. But then for me, who's not involved in the production, to put a mustache on the Asgard puppet, for instance, is my right as its owner.
I ruined the Asgard puppet. That's a really good example of it. I glued a thing on that doesn't come off.
To be used in production.
Yeah, but also just
that's not what I'm talking about. Because
no.
you used it for production.
And what I'm saying is, everyone else doing this same thing all the time is how these things get used. Yes, you care about it that way, but the person you hired to do it didn't understand it the same way, and you hadn't conveyed it to them the same way. And that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and
what I'm saying is that aspect of communication in the creative process is universal, in and out and everywhere else all the time. This always happens. So, what I'm trying to say is, if you get anyone to do work on your stuff, it's not going to be the same as what you want always. And so this problem if you're ever getting work done on your props, it will always happen. This is always going to happen. And like, but the thing is that that process happens all the time, all the way through. No one building it is bothered by that process. It's only those of us who really care about it and are invested in the show, because I am too. I get it, but like, they can. It's fine. I
Oh,
don't.
sure.
I don't agree with it either. But like, um,
I think you and I are
I'm
probably coming at this exact same conclusion, just from two completely different directions based on what I'm hearing here.
sort of, but also like one of my collector friends did mention you. He was doing the same stuff too, and you were getting his face about it.
I was getting in his face about it.
Yeah, in person.
I'm even more proud of myself now. Good. I'm glad I did. Okay.
No,
it's all right.
I disagree with it, but that's okay.
That's all right. I mean, it's free speech. So what I'm talking about is not when production uses it.
No, I'm talking about when people are trying to preserve and keep it the same way.
Right.
You got in their face about that same thing that you just defended now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it not my right to be able to express my opinion with what he was doing of his own stuff?
Yeah, but you could
It's
not be a
still
dick about it.
thing to do. Exactly right. Exactly right. He has a right to do with it what he wants, and I have the right to express my opinions on it. And I know who you're talking about, and that's okay. He wasn't harmed. I think one of the distinctions that wasn't being made between the two of us is if it's reassigned by production to be something else, then that makes perfect sense, because it's still going to represent whatever it was in the last show that it was used in. So you can't be precious about something if it has to be used for production, because things change and are altered by production all the time. And so that absolutely makes sense. In the situation that I'm talking about here, when we sold the Asgard Puppet after it had been used in The Lost Tribe, which is the last episode that it was in, my hope would be that whoever got it would maintain it from how it looked in The Lost Tribe. Because for a while there, we were thinking of removing the piece that was on his head, because he didn't normally appear mostly as that. But then it was like, but the chest piece doesn't come off. And then you're going to have a discontinuity. And so we sold him as is.
Yeah.
Because
but even then, like, it's made of something that's going to rot. It, like, there's an effort to be able to preserve it, but also just understanding, like, after about 20 years,
sure,
it's not going to look the same at all anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
No matter what you do.
Yeah, it's a Ship of Theseus paradox, is what it is. Is the Mona Lisa, the paints that we see when we go into the Louvre, and I've seen it in person. The paint that I'm looking at is not the paint that Leonardo applied to it. I understand that.
Yeah.
Someone
but
has
also
made
just like
the deliberate effort to preserve it for the future.
And then some things we take and we just transform them into something else, and that's okay too.
Absolutely, it is. It is your right to do that. Okay is subjective.
Well, no, but also, like, think about restoring old cars to collectors, or to turn it into a hot rod that's got a big chrome extra engine in it. Both of those are cool things to do with old cars, and we celebrate both of them. This is the same way.
Oh yeah, and you can take a giant can opener to the thing and use it as an art piece to display it at various events, because it's yours to do that with. But how people feel about it is going to be inconsistent from one person to the next. And as far as I am concerned, diversity of opinion is the spice of life. And if I could force whoever our mutual contact was to go back in time and undo it, I wouldn't. It's his. My point.
I'm glad you understand that part.
Of course I understand that part. I'm not a fascist. The point is that just because if someone doesn't think exactly how I think, it's not going to bother me. Anyone who thinks that I have to believe the way that they do is a fascist. It's just not ideal from my circumstances, because we have a different mindset about what it is about the pieces that we have. And that's what it boils down to what it is. If you're trying to make something look like it did in the show, but to the naked eye be more realistic, that makes a lot of sense because you can photograph things with cameras and bring out certain things in certain lighting. But if it's in front of you, it's not necessarily going to look like it did in the show. If you're doing that with that intent of making it more authentic to what it was on the screen, that makes a lot of sense. But to be like, oh, I'm adding lights to it here to make it look cooler. Yeah, you can do that, and I will never use any mechanism of law or courts or anything else to stop you because it is yours. But it's a dick thing to do. Just like me going up to a person and saying, well, it wouldn't be a dick thing for me to say that I disagree with that. If I yelled at him, then that's a dick thing to do. But it's also, I mean, I don't think I yelled. If he said that, then that's not
I recall
the case.
Someone saying that you got in their face about it and it was confrontational.
Confrontational probably, but never got like up in their face. That doesn't sound like me.
Anyway, again, I'm paraphrasing and I don't remember the exact words. I will say I see someone in the comments saying Mark invested time, talent, heart, and brains to create his works of art. It makes me sad to know someone could destroy or alter them. It's work for hire. I don't even own it.
Yeah.
Like, I would build these things and like as soon as it was finished, like that hour, it would go out the door and I'd never see it again.
Yep. You can't be precious.
You have to let go real
you have
hard.
No time. That's exactly right. No,
most of the photographs I have were most of the photographs all of us had of the things we made, and it was me realizing partway through, I'm like, if I don't grab a picture of this stuff, it leaves forever, and then no one has a picture of it.
That's right. Yeah, you want to archive it
and
somehow.
So when like it was like halfway through 2007 when I really started taking pictures of stuff, and I still didn't get everything, but like after the show ended and the team parted ways, several people contacted me like, hey, I don't have any pictures of any of the stuff we made, and I'm like, I got you. I have pictures of stuff. I gave my collection of pictures to Joe as well, who posts them on his blog, Joe Malazzi, the producer. So you can see a lot of it there as well. But like, yeah, this stuff would leave never to be seen again.
I, as an editor and a video creator who often does this for hire, I have never understood the mindset of people being so precious. We're like, do you not have any integrity? I've edited a couple of features, and I sat down with folks who were working. I was in LA working for like a month and a half on this one. It was a director's cut of a film, and he just wanted it for his own edification. And I sat down next to him, and I had some ideas. And he said, I'll take that, I won't take that, I'll take that, I won't take that. And I said, okay, good. And we just went through it. And he said, you're sure you're good with the changes that I made? And I'm like, I created this thing for you based on what I thought you wanted. You're the director. It's your creative vision that I'm supporting. I'm not going to be precious about any of my work. Yeah, I may have spent an hour on this piece over here. You didn't end up using it. That's too damn bad for me. It's fine. I'm proud of creating that, but I'm not going to be, because the previous editor, they couldn't finish the project with him because he was standing on every hill of every creation of his and dying on every one of them, and they couldn't get through it. And it's like, that's not my job. My job is to be creative, and then the director takes it, and then it's gone.
If you go back to the picture of the SG-1 gate pieces and that Wraith console next to it, that was the thing we were building where we built it and they were like, we just need the front. Yeah, this thing.
Yeah.
We just need the front. And we're like, we built the back for them too, because we knew. And then they were like,
that was that piece that you were talking about last time.
Yeah.
And
but that was the piece where it was like, no, we knew what they would need instead of what they asked for.
That's right.
But also like learning to let go and understand that we build things to facilitate a director's whim, not to go on set and be seen. It's their job to make that decision.
That's right.
We have no control over it.
That's it.
I don't know how it's going to play.
Yep.
So like that the Asgard chip with the Virtual Boy chip in it,
Yeah.
like the actor puts that right up to the camera, and I was watching the film and going, "Whoa, I get to see that one up close."
Mm-hmm.
It was surprising because I don't know how it's going to happen, and so yeah, learning to let go really early, like because that Wraith console was like one of the first things I made in the first like 2 or 3 weeks there. That was I was so happy I learned that lesson quickly.
Mm-hmm. No,
And
you
it's
have
the
to
same
because you
thing.
won't survive otherwise.
Yeah.
You'll get so sucked into something and just won't be able to finish anything creatively. It's the same thing. We have to cut ourselves off, desensitize ourselves in all kinds of industries. 911 phone operators, I think the most. Otherwise you just can't get through the
Yeah.
day. But in this kind of a situation, anything it's one of the things that I pride myself in any of my creative endeavors is the ability to disconnect from the work and just like I don't know if it's Faulkner who said it, kill your darlings because you got to. At
Yeah.
least you made them. And if I really want one, I can make myself another one. But
But
I'm
and
hired for a purpose, and then it
yeah,
goes.
and this is the thing between like art for someone else versus art for yourself. Like the Mona Lisa is a good example. That was I think he was still hired to make it for someone,
Yeah,
but like but there's like students who are making the same painting and they have some of those versions. But
yeah.
like Stargate, like Brad Wright kind of is the guy in charge,
Mm-hmm.
and everything else flows from there creatively as to what we're making.
That's right.
None of us have control over anything. And
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, he still has to trust people below him to make some of this stuff to be able to work as a team to make a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Because
And
he's
it's a
not
complicated
necessarily
process.
right, and he's not necessarily deciding what colors the lasers are going to be when they come
Yeah.
out of the ships. That's why he surrounds himself with creative people. If
Yeah.
he makes a decision, though, I do think that it's the only way that we can learn as people is if we are given some kind of pushback sometimes. So
Yeah. But
that's why I'm like, well, if I really am doing something, God knows if I know everything that there is, maybe there may be a better way to do something here. And for me to have a chance to learn by someone, explaining something to me, it's like, oh, I didn't think of that. That never would have even occurred to me. And there are instances in my life where that's happened. But also at the same time, knowing when to, okay, I understand what you're doing. I understand what you want. It's yours.
I'm actually wondering whether, because I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but an observation I've had that Robert Cooper's episodes were always more difficult to work
Of
on.
course.
They're great episodes,
Yeah.
like no comment there, but it's because he's writing, directing,
Mm-hmm.
and producing all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder whether like him having more control was part of why we would always have more changes or more feedback or more like pushback on things in a way that always made it stressful.
He's the boss.
Yes.
And not only is he the boss, because he's got all these other hats now he's really the boss. So
Yeah.
you
And
have fewer cooks in the kitchen on those particular episodes. And so, yeah, he's going to
well,
put a little
no,
bit, you
I
know,
it's not fewer cooks in the kitchen. It's the same number of cooks, but
there's
you've
the
got
director, executive producer, the writer. I mean, is all one
you're
person in that
having to
case.
to look at the guy over your shoulder and say, "Yes, chef,"
Yeah.
16 times instead of once.
Yeah.
And all that time means you're not actually cooking.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. But in this
So
case, like Martin Wood isn't there
yeah,
along with the writer. It's the writer is there along with the director.
but just like it'd be like, oh no, we've got to redo the work. Oh, this work needs to change. Okay, and so you spend time doing revisions, you spend time changing what you're doing to match, and you have less time to make a good product. I mean, it still serves the purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still got to go there and do that. But like, there's an aspect of like maybe it's micromanaging.
I was about to ask, did you feel more micromanaged on certain episodes?
The Robert Cooper ones, like where we would just get more feedback on it, and it was like
Interesting.
micromanaging as in like getting feedback once a
I
week instead
understand.
of once the whole time.
Yeah.
Like it's very minimal, but it was like it was only after working on several of them that I started piecing together. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wonder whether it's him. I go
Look,
watch the episodes; they're great. and so I'm like,
They're
I'm not even
wonderful.
knocking the process. I just had less fun under it.
The end result is definitely for sure. You can go afterwards and be like, yeah, that was worth it. Um,
Uh, Time is my favorite episode from Universe, and
Amazing
it
episode.
was one of his. It was one of the ones that I noticed was a little more stressful to work on.
Yep.
Satita in Atlantis season 3
Yep.
was the first one where I'm like, why is this all more stressful? There was a lot more to build on it, but
He
and it
has a
was
very
mostly
specific vision, and he's going to execute it.
yes,
And the fact of the matter is, I remember when these episodes came out, and Darren and I over at Gate World were sitting there thinking, how's it going to be? I said, I know this. It's going to look and sound the best of all of them because the guy at the top is in the driver's seat for this episode. Because you know that those things are going to happen. You know, he's not going to be like, oh, you know what? Their episodes are more important. At the very least, he's thinking my episodes are going to be just as important as anyone else's, you know. And as the executive producer and writer and director, he has the leverage to say, you know what, we'll figure this out later on for this one. Let's take this unit of money and this unit of whatever and apply it to this one, and I will make sure, because I'm in a position to be able to do that, that we're covered later on. And the bottom line is that he gave us some banger episodes. So at the end of the
oh
day,
yeah,
it's worth it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like it's only my theory. I don't have a good proof for it because you only get a certain sense of like what props you're building.
Yeah, but you felt it.
Yeah,
You were
and
there.
and the thing is like the order we shoot in is sometimes a little different than the order they air, and the lead up time for certain props would come at a different time. So like the chronology is fuzzy and disjointed from building to
Sure.
what you see in the thing. So it's harder to get a sense of like I have to pay attention to what episode this prop is for to even know, pardon me, um, which is which.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's a fuzzy sense of like, why is this so hard? Oh, right. Oh, it's the Robert Cooper episode. Okay, great. It'll be great, but whatever. Um,
It'll be great. All right. All right. I'm coming up for air. It'll be fine. All right. I'm going back in. A buddy of mine wrote to me. He just texted me in WhatsApp. He said, for what it's worth, this is his opinion to me. For what it's worth, you're absolutely right regarding the collector modifying props, altering the object after production ends, changes its authenticity, provenance, and aura. Good, blah 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 blah. The fact of the matter is, it's just my opinion, you know.
yeah,
And
but also
I think
like
it's interesting that that there are people on both sides of the conversation. So
there's an aspect of like we can't even preserve without altering. This stuff isn't made to last
yeah,
at
I'm not
all.
arguing that. Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, a lot of this stuff is gonna break before I sell it. My point was, and I'll lay it to rest after this, was the intent behind what it is that's being done. So, all right. So these are from the top of the Asuran core. There were several of them. We saw a piece of it earlier, and then you've got these acrylic pieces on top of it. They were mirrored. They were very interesting to photograph. Let me tell you, Mark, this was not going to be an
And,
easy
and
one.
I think that's double-sided tape sticking them on there.
Okay, very good.
This one was really weird for me to look at in the selection of stuff you sent me because I'm like,
What is
wait, did I
that?
make this?
You
What
had
is
to
this?
have. You did a lot
Well,
of this
no,
flat stuff, didn't
because
you?
what it is that red color.
Oh, and look at that. I think
I
that's one of the pieces of tape right there.
well, yeah, you can see the little piece of the tape at the bottom of that section.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this one popped
That's it.
off. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
So I'm like, why doesn't this look like the
but
others?
like I would have drawn all this
Yeah.
and then built all of this, and then that red color would have happened at the last moment. And so I would have spent like a week and a half with this thing looking completely differently. It would have changed to red and gone out the door at the same time. And so my memory of it doesn't match what it is.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Went through some more stations before it ended up on screen.
Yeah, and so there's this thing where it's like, what even, I didn't even do it. Hey, hang on, that one has some mistakes at the bottom. Just go down to the big rectangle there. The
This one?
lines go in that one when they shouldn't.
Only you, Mark, would see that as a mistake. I understand what you're talking about, though. Yeah, because of the others here. Hey,
But like
you know what?
that's
And Asuran didn't build this after all. Look at
yeah,
that.
I
One,
built
two,
it.
three, four, five. See? Absolutely. Wow.
But
What
like
kind of
this
a
is the kind
program
of
do you
stuff
use for this?
I was using Corel Draw for this. It's
Okay.
like Adobe Illustrator, but it's just lighter.
Okay.
It has less functions. It's much faster.
Would
It
you
was
render
really
at
great.
300 DPI?
Sorry?
Would you render at 300 dots per inch?
No, this is all like vector-based
Okay.
drawing.
Oh, so you can make it as large as you
And
want. Okay.
the DPI is the number of pulses on the laser when we're cutting this.
Wow. Okay. Well,
So
good to
like
know.
speed and pulses per unit of measurement was actually like a thing we would do when we were cutting.
No wonder I
But
tripped you up.
um but no, for all of this it was all vector work. You couldn't do it that way and have it work
Wow.
easily. But
So
yeah,
some of the ones on the sides, these, I think this is upside. No, it's right side up. I was misremembering.
it was a lot of fun lit, but I never got to see it that way.
Right, exactly. You could only put like something behind it. Okay, yes, that's working. All right, moving on. Wow. So when you're doing this aging here, a lot of this was done on Universe. You know, we've seen it
I
for
didn't even
the.
see that part.
Okay, so that doesn't. Okay, so that's not your team. All right.
Like I don't know whether that would have been because like the division between props and construction and set deck is usually like
Ah,
props is something where an actor handles it,
interesting.
and set decoration is stuff they don't handle,
Okay.
I think. So, but for this, like my part of it would have been making these panels, and I'm assuming construction building sets would have built the thing that I think they built the thing that it housed in, and like my panels went over there and it got painted over with their painter. So
Wow. Okay.
I didn't even see, and this is what I mean when I try to remember this stuff is sometimes the context is not even what I remember.
Okay.
Still dark. There we go.
You're okay.
Well, it's getting later in the day and it's cloudy here, so it's
This is true.
getting darker faster. But it's one of those things where it's like what I remember, I don't even have the luxury of remembering the thing as it gets seen by everyone else.
Yeah, and you're seeing these pieces in a vacuum, not with the individual with the final product on it. Were these just mirrored, like acrylic? Could you just get that from the factory, or did you have to apply the mirrored surface to the acrylic underneath, or was that all one
Um,
piece?
is it even mirrored
Uh
underneath, or
huh.
is it just a
Yeah,
chunk of acrylic?
these were reflective. So we photographed these in such a way so that the light wouldn't hit them that way. You can see it here in this example. You can see the light hitting it funny.
Oh, okay.
Because yeah, in these particular
Well,
pieces,
no,
if you
that
were
would have
looking
been
at them head on, you would see a reflection.
that would have been a paint we applied.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because it was just like it was a sheet of acrylic that you just
Wow.
cut up on a table saw, put a panel of it in the laser cutter, get those shapes out, and have that nice clean edge.
Wow. Asuran Replicator Stunner, one of my favorite. You can see the toggle. You pull this
Yeah,
up and
and you can see
down.
the LEDs in the side.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I actually made for these was some of the little inserts that covered up sections. Like,
And you made these.
yeah, I made those because that was a little rubber insert with it's got double-sided tape
Double-sided
behind it,
tape.
and then in the front of the handguard there, that little angled piece down below, both of them, those little
Okay.
inserts. Oh, you can actually see all the CNC marks
I'm telling you.
in there.
Were these circles the machine?
Yeah, that's just machining marks that didn't get erased. Like, because
That's
you'd
so
have
cool.
um the interesting thing about this prop is uh one of the actors who used it, I've worked with him on other projects
Okay.
as a voice actor. Um Elias Tufexis,
Yes.
who you might know from Deus Ex because he
Yep.
played the main character with his low voice. He was one of the actors holding these guys in the background.
Wow.
So we were working on that, and then later we were working together on MechWarrior 5.
Ah, that's cool. Now
And
this
I ran into him at a MechWarrior convention, and we got to talk about this briefly. It was a lot of fun.
this is my by far one of my favorites. This is an easily top
It's a cool
3.
gun.
It's heavy. It's dadgummit. It's the aluminum in this is just, it's a beautiful, it feels real. It's one of those things where it's not like, oh, I hold it and I'm disappointed. It's the quality of it, you know, what you can imagine the actors had in their, to be able to hold it and it give them this kind of a response, and to click it closed and open again, you know, helps them sell it even more. Even these pieces here, you know, they're a different shade. They're like installed separately. It's all pulled from that Atlantis kind of shape, which Bridget MechWarrior pulled out of the Frank Lloyd Wright design. And it's just a beautiful piece. I sold mine, and then I regretted selling it. And then when I sold my house in Phoenix, I used some of that money to, well, buy one back. So
Yeah.
it was a mistake to sell it. But beautiful prop. Similarly, this is the Atero device key. That's what I called it when we sold it. This is
the bread box.
Yes. So this glowed red when Janice's room was accessed, and they came and grabbed this and returned it. This is what the evil Asgard went and grabbed on Atlantis, and then returned it to power and activate the Atero device at their science lab complex thingy.
Yeah. So like I built all the little like application panels on it. But the really interesting thing about this was like, this is built out of wood, and a carpenter literally measured every single angle to do this perfectly. This is a work of art.
It's beautiful.
Like someone did this on a table saw.
Wow.
This box.
Man, look at
like,
that with the routing.
Well, no, that's just laser cut.
Yeah.
But like the box itself,
the box
geometric
itself,
shape.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, someone did that on a table saw.
Man.
And it all joins up
tape?
perfectly. Yeah.
Wow.
It's just simple stuff.
It's the same technique that they, you know, when they're upgrading your kitchen countertops. I mean, they get to some of those corners, and it's like, you're not going to be able to get that exactly right. And they do. They measure well. And it's like, geez, some people are just artists.
No. And it was like, no, that was like, there was definitely some like rivalry with the carpenters, or carps as we'd call them.
Oh,
but
sure.
like, and some of them are just like really simple guys. They're just doing woodwork. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then like there's a couple of the leads who are like, they're really skilled. And this was definitely the finest piece of work I ever saw out of that team. And I wanted to point it out, like, no, that was awesome. We looked at it and we were all blown away. Like I remember seeing some of his drawings when I went over there to see what he was doing. And like he's literally just mathing out everything, like doing angles like with a calculator and a piece of paper.
And he's got it together. I have a question about your graphics.
Yep.
Do you have a database to pull from of just different shapes and things, or do you have to make everything whole cloth, or is there like software that you can buy that will have patterns on it and you can select them? Like, what were you doing?
All of this is whole cloth, and any database of things to pull from was a database of my own making.
Wow.
Like, and there would definitely be a part of me like writing notes, preserving for the future, and keeping stuff on the side or reusing it. But like every time I went back to look at my notes, I'm like, oh, these notes are deeply insufficient.
You only knew what you knew.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, your number one question is, you know, or whether they're going to provide it to you is this a species we've seen before? Is it ancient? Okay. Because, I mean, the ancient you used again and again and again, that whole library.
But also, like, half those shapes or more would have been stuff that, like, the concept art would have had on it. Like, someone would have just drawn stuff, and it's like, okay, we're building it this way. We copy what they do. We faithfully recreate this thing that they have where we can, and we do something else where we can't.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Pull this back up here. Whoops.
What you got next? I mean, I think I saw it briefly. Yeah, the chevron lights.
The chiclets for the Atlantis lights. So the big tall ones that were like 7-8 feet tall A lot of them didn't survive storage when we went up to Bridge and collected them. They threw them all on a pallet on top of each other.
Oh, and they
We
just
kept
didn't.
the ones that we could, and the ones that didn't, we pulled them out through the hole and and took them and sold them individually. And fans went and mounted them and did all kinds of things with them. Repurposing it under those circumstances.
Yeah.
Um,
So those, like that set is covered in hundreds of those.
yep.
Um,
This is metal. This outer shell here, you can see at the top where the seam is.
oh yeah, you can actually see the metal folds in it right
And
there.
then
Yeah.
you've got the plywood underneath, and then you had these here put in.
Which were like just half-inch acrylic pieces, and then they're
Uh-huh.
backlit. So one of the things about getting the laser cutter and me using it was when we had to make more of these
Mhm.
because stuff would happen or they'd be doing something else or have an extra room in Atlantis that they suddenly needed.
Mhm.
Well, cutting them out on a laser cutter is really easy. You just like make a pattern of a bunch of them and hit print.
They're coming out like cookies, faster than.
And so like when they needed 200 of them, it used to be like they'd get 3 carpenters and a bandsaw and a blowtorch
Mhm.
to cut them all out and sand them all down and then polish that edge with a torch. I was just cutting them with a laser and I could pull out I think it was like 180 of them in 2 hours.
Look at you, Mark, destroying
And I'm
jobs.
sitting
How
there
dare you?
and I'm sitting there doing nothing doing it. Well, no. And then this is a really important issue about technology is whenever artists get better tools, they don't do less work. They just make more art. Because they're artists, they make art. Like we just make stuff.
Right.
If we can make more of it in the same amount of time, that's just what we do.
If you're hired again, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like from that standpoint of like, oh, like it's going to take away jobs. Yes, that might also be true, and sometimes that can be really awful. For instance, like with how AI art is
Mhm.
doing stuff right now, where I understand a lot of what AI is doing as a concept is cool, but also the data sets for all their art stuff is people's stolen work.
Mhm. For many of them, yes.
I don't
Yeah.
agree with stealing people's work,
Yep. Agreed.
you know. So I don't agree with some of what's going on with AI, and I feel awkward about a lot of the rest of the stuff for that same
Mhm.
reason. But like when you get a tool that does something twice as fast, you just do more.
Mhm. That's the thing. John Godetsky came on last week. We were talking about his transition from physical models into digital, and we talked a
Yeah.
little bit about Light and Magic, the ILM documentary that came out on Disney Plus a little while back. Which, if you haven't seen it, it's amazing. And they talk
Mhm.
about the transition from, and John correlated this to his experience as well, from practical models into digital, where a lot of the guys threw up their hands and didn't want to transition into the new era of technology. They wanted to work with their hands. They didn't want to click with a mouse.
Yeah.
Their artistic talent, 9 times out of 10, could transfer from one to the other, but that's not the medium that they wanted. And
As someone who has done both,
yeah.
yes. And this is actually one of those things that's another weird argument against using these AI tools is
Mm-hmm.
and I see this in programming as well, is that training of doing it yourself to make you a good artist or a good programmer or whatever, like without these tools that assist you so much, is what makes you a good, like it's what refines your skill.
Yeah, you're
And
not
when you don't,
offloading your brain power.
yeah, and so like when you rely on a tool and you just type some words in, you might not be learning why like composition matters the same way because you're not practicing the skill, you're
Mm-hmm.
just offloading it to a system.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a balance to be found there in like what is an artist and how do you make your work versus
Mm-hmm.
how much are you relying on a tool that's doing all of the work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Where does ownership end, especially when you might say do it in someone's style and their name appears in the bottom of the piece of work because it's copying literally their works.
Literally their work. Yeah, man, that's unacceptable.
So that part's like no, they're just stealing people's work. And I don't support that. But at the same time, it's like,
Well, tell me, tell me someone who would that who would support that. I mean, that specific point. I mean, if you have a
yeah.
soul as a human being, then. But a
Oh,
lot of people are like, I don't want to think about that. I'm just going to go ahead and use the tool. But don't tell me that
everyone at
because
the
I don't want
top
to
of an
know.
AI company who wants to make money
Yeah,
because making money is their goal.
yeah,
That's who. But
yeah.
um, again, it's one of those things where it's like we all, as artists, borrow and transform each other's work
Mm-hmm.
to make more. Um, like I mentioned MechWarrior, that's an IP where people are designing giant robots.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff they were drawing in the 80s and the stuff they're drawing today is completely different, partly because people had 40 years of learning how to
Mm-hmm.
do better. We built
Mm-hmm.
up on that work, and it allows people to go, oh, yeah, I can do better than this. And then everyone else sees it and goes, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I can do the same, or I can match it or do more. And we build and we get better and we practice. But copying someone's work faithfully is a really great way to learn.
Oh yeah, you have to start somewhere, and I'm
Yeah.
sure a number of those robots look like ED209. There's something that maybe not necessarily MechWarrior, but I mean, I've seen him iterated. Where do I have him? Oh, he's in the other room.
Oh, I
Iterated everywhere. It's something that sticks
do
with me
you
from
want me to run away
childhood.
for a moment?
Sure. Do you have
One
him?
moment.
I'm gonna get mine. Hang out, everybody. Okay, that was funny. Sorry, everyone. He's going to show his, and I'm going to show mine. Sorry we're running long, everyone. I hope everyone's cool with this. 2 hours and 14 minutes. Mark, I think we ran longer than anticipated here.
Oh yeah, we're going quite a ways, but
oh, look at him!
It's
put it in front. You have to put it in front of your face. There you go. Is that the one from the new RoboCop?
No.
Oh.
This is but it's a similar shape, right?
It evokes, yeah.
Yeah. The details are different.
But yeah.
But it's the same idea.
Wow. There we go.
But like if you look at it really close, you'll be like, oh no, this is a slightly different thing.
Yeah.
But
it's inspired by or was created by someone who at some point that got inside their brain or saw something else that was inspired by that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, no, we learned and we did something similar, and it might even be 3 or 4 steps down.
Mm-hmm.
But like the person who drew one of these two probably saw the other one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My buddy Nick, he developed a piece of music. God, this had to have been 20 years ago at this point. He dreamt this music. He dreamt it. And then he woke up and he wrote it down. And then he was a couple of weeks into production for it. And he realized, oh God, it's the underground sewer music from Super Mario Brothers. And he's like, my subconscious extracted that, played it back to me when I slept. I woke up and wrote it down and assumed it was mine, when in fact, some guy in Japan made this. It wasn't exactly it, but he was looking at it and it's like, he didn't see it until he suddenly did. And then he's like, I have to scrap the whole thing. Because he thought that he had created something and all he did was copy 80% of someone else's work.
Have you heard the jazz album that's borrowed from?
No. Please send it to me afterwards.
Because a bunch of that work is inspired by a lot of jazz work from 5 or 10 years earlier. Like, and you can hear the bits and pieces. I just found the other day, because I love listening to film scores and music like this.
Yep.
Fantasia on a Theme, where I was listening to it and I'm like, where have I heard this before? What is going on? And there's a bit like 3 to 5 minutes into it, and I'm like, oh, this is from the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
John Williams definitely listened to this and was like, he transformed it a little bit, but it's like, no, he had to have gotten it from here.
That's it. I think the one of the bigger offenses is for anyone who is a fan of this. One of my favorite pieces of music of all time is James Horner's Wrath of Khan, and he took huge chunks of Sergei. Is it Prokofiev's? It's Gustav Mahler's Symphony No. 1. And you go in, if you're very familiar with that piece, you go in and you play that. He took huge hunks of it out to the point where Nick Meyer called him on it. He says, I know this piece. I've heard it before. And Horner said at the time, he's like, maybe I'm not as divorced from my influences as I would hope to be. And they kept it in. It's like, well, particularly when they're running toward the Mutara Nebula, they just lifted it.
And this is one of those things where it's like, how transformative does a work have to be before it becomes your thing versus the original thing? No, there was
you can't copyright a chord progression.
Or one where it was the same artist. I was listening to a Japanese anime series that's really big called Evangelion. They made some films near the end of it.
Yeah, I've seen the toys.
In one of those films, like the music's great. But like I was like, this piece is cool. And then I'm listening to an earlier work by the same composer called Nadia and the Secret of Blue Water, and I'm like, wait, this is like almost the exact same piece. Like there's a few differences, but like 95% exactly the same. And I'm like, it's his, he can do it, but like, whoa.
And Horner was notorious for recycling phrases, especially through the 80s. I don't even have to look at the end credits. It's like it's a Horner film. His brass flourishes are exactly the same in this scene as it was in Aliens. You know, he's using, and Wrath of Khan, they all they're his sound.
Yes.
So, and that's one of like John Williams, you know, if you can hear his stuff. It's light and flourishing with the
yeah. There's a point at which you can listen to a piece and you'd be like, I know who that is.
Fingerprints are all over it. That's right. Or you know who inspired it. So
yeah,
I sold one of the, or I got a couple of these. I managed to salvage a couple, and when I moved to Nashville, the acrylics on a few of them were destroyed. And I found the acrylic manufacturer in Nashville, and I took one and I gave it to him. And I said, I need 4 of these because 4 of these didn't make it when they traveled, because it's like a hot glue gun or something similar that installed them. And I gave it to him, and I came back down a month later and he gave them to me, and the frost on the edge was not there. And it kind of surprised me because like I expected exactly that, and he didn't do it. And he said, oh, you want me to add the frost? I'm like, yes, I want you to add the frost. It's when the light hits it from behind, that's what scatters the light. And he said, well, it's going to cost a little bit more. I'm like, do it. I'm trying to restore.
A fair ask. It's a fair ask when he's going, what is the cost value of doing this project, right?
Yeah.
Those are the aspects of like the scope of project and money that I love not dealing with.
Sure, absolutely. You want to be creating in there. You want to get your hands dirty, so to speak. So.
And that was one of the things we experienced a lot was like our lead, the guy who would go down to set, or Kenny would come back with him. Like they handled all of that, the politics, the planning, everything.
Left you with freedom to create.
We just made stuff.
Yep.
But also like we would also get blamed for things and not get credit for things all the time because of it.
Right. That's the thing that frustrates me, Mark, is, I mean, how fast would the end credits have to roll on each of these shows in order to get everyone's name in the props department featured
totally.
in it?
Or like
no reason that all of the people who are up there working for Stargate shouldn't have their name in the end credits for friggin' Stargate. I don't understand that. I don't understand how you're so below the line at a certain point that you don't even get your name in the credits. You're just a part of the department that made it.
Also, like Stargate was a rare show where props was even a department, like building, as opposed to handling on set and stuff. But most of it's contract work, and they don't credit all those people all the time. Yeah. But also, like, we would have sometimes happen where I'd be reading Joe's blog because I would find information that I didn't know all the time.
Yeah.
But like, oh yeah, there was a crew photo yesterday. It's up on the blog.
And you weren't there.
We never even got told.
Come on, man. Yeah,
And that happened all the time. Like it was common.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I know
saw
the
in
feeling. I know it.
the photos you had, I couldn't find it the second time I was
Yeah.
looking, but the Stargate crew 10th anniversary watch
Yes.
with the little gate thing on it.
Yeah, from Master
Yeah.
Replicas.
Uh they I didn't get one because they ran out because they'd sold too many to fans to actually give to the crew. So some people got them and some of us didn't. And it was just like, what?
Did you get the celebration of 10 years book? Did you get that at
No,
least? You didn't get it.
that was it. Like that one thing was the crew gift that year, and I didn't even get it.
The celebration
I
of 10 years book was the crew gift, or the
no, the
watch was the crew
watch.
gift?
I didn't even know that there was a
Oh,
book. So
yeah. No, we had paperback versions. I'll get you one. We had paperback versions that Gateworld exclusively sold for a number of years. And what I found, or a number of years, like 2 years, and then what I found years and years later was that production made hardback versions internally.
okay, yeah, no, we
I've
never
got.
saw those.
I'll get you. I'll get you one.
No,
Paperback.
for the
Yeah.
watches because they didn't come at the time. They were like, they're still making them, so they handed
Yes.
out a little slip of paper that was like, here's your piece of paper. The crew gift is still coming.
And they
And
ran out.
I think in like 2017 or so, I still had it. I sent it to Joe, and I'm like, "Is this still good?"
Yeah. They're hundreds of dollars on eBay.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah. That's just. Oh. Okay.
I got most of the other crew gifts, and I think the one of the Universe jackets was a really good rain jacket, but after
Yeah.
about 6 or 7 years, it started like peeling apart.
These things wear out. What's
Yeah, they
interesting
do.
now is I'm seeing this for the first time. Your pattern for this box is the same as the other box, even though this only appeared in the Pegasus Galaxy. So look at that. No wonder you associated the two.
Yes, and it's probably because I didn't know to not associate them.
Interesting. So you thought that they were a matching. Well, I mean, they're both ancient, so
Yeah,
it makes sense. And I mean, look at you've got the. Oh, I'm just now noticing. Look at that.
and that probably says something, but I don't remember what it says. Intrepid people watching this can probably go figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there someone? No, that's it.
I've been in the Gate World forums. I've seen people trying to translate this stuff before.
Oh yeah, the staircase, some of the weapons, the Atlantis main staircase. The side staircases was gobbledygook, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there's a better shot of the. If someone take a crack at that, please, and put it in the comments.
Yeah, that looks solvable.
Right? Yeah, and then just you can see where each of the communication stone spots went.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. 4 of them. I love the design that was made for Universe, where it was one of our most visible reverse engineered pieces of tech. And it just has a little light box. You turn it on, and it fits 5 places for stones, and that's what they had at Stargate Command, or at the Pentagon. So
Yeah. I remember helping build that because I did a few bits and pieces for it.
wow. Here we go.
Yeah,
Puddle jumper crystal right here, and then different crystals here.
But this is like 3 different kinds of crystals, and it's why I wanted to bring it up because your video where you were talking about some of the crystals was what got me into commenting and asking in the beginning of this relationship.
There we go.
Because again, part of like the year I joined was when we got the laser cutter and could make stuff that way. So the first and third crystal were done on a router table and then had like printed graphics.
Yes.
Whereas the middle one is done laser cut. It's a different way. But when you backlight it, all of that stuff glows in a way more interesting way. And they just went, no, we're doing this all the time now.
Of course, 100%, because you can, like they did the same thing when they built the Daedalus. It's one of the first versions that I can think of where they did that. They had the big, long acrylic boards, and they took a router and etched into it. But you've got this one here that's so teeny tiny, and when you hit that with a light against it, the whole thing lights up like it's active, and it's just so cool because the stickers. Well, I guess like This one probably would light up because you got the lighter colors to it, but this one isn't going to light up when light hits it. It's just
Yeah,
going to
but
cast
the lighter colors also like they obscure if you're
Yep.
behind on the other side, right? They turn
Yep.
dark.
Yep.
The shiny ones are shiny, and I remember some of those like the ship consoles because as much as like when fans think about the ships, like the Prometheus and Daedalus and whichever, there was a Russian one as
Yeah.
well.
Korolev. Yeah.
Yeah, but
One
like
episode.
I always think about it as a single set.
For sure. Yeah. The spaceship set. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes we might put a new plaque on it or whatever, but like I remember getting some of those like boxes of chips and crystals and stuff, and we'd make new ones. But like rebuilding some of them, I remember some of the large chip pieces that we were like, hey, build a new one of this. Because we want to do it differently.
Oh.
So, but that was an example of like the technology changing and just people going, no, no, this is cool. Let's do more of it this way.
Mm-hmm. I had a huge argument, sidebar real quick, with my boss when we were selling the props and set pieces because he wanted to call it the Daedalus set. I'm like, this whole set was every Earth ship. You know, I think we need to just call it the spaceship set, the human spaceship or whatever it was. And he's like, no, we're calling it the Daedalus. I'm like, Alec, it's not technically right. This wasn't on the Daedalus. This was on the Hammond. So we compromised. I think the Hammond
and the
version
Prometheus
of
was the first
set.
ship, so it should have been that.
I agree as well, but Daedalus is what he most remembered, and so that's what he wanted. And you know, he was the boss, so you know, but it didn't change the fact that he was technically incorrect. You know, it's one of those situations.
You let go.
No,
like,
I didn't. I stood my ground, and
I know, but there's a certain point at which you're like, yeah, sometimes you just let go and move on.
Oh, right, exactly. I'm not going to change his mind. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And it never bothered him. He saw it and he got it, but he was standing on the hill at that time, and I wasn't going to push him off of it. So
again, one of the things about fans who care about this stuff, like, no, we all really care about it in a way that, like, yeah, we get into the weeds on things.
In that situation, had I listed it as the Daedalus, I would have been wrong. And we would have gotten
and exactly like
refunds.
And there are people who would care, and it matters too because there's like a level of caring.
Yeah.
That like really passionate people care about these details. Like the Simpsons Itchy and Scratchy thing where it's like, oh, he's playing the bone xylophone, but he clicked on two different bones, but it plays the same note. Like I really hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Oh, okay. Oh, it wasn't a joke in the show. A fan did it.
It was a fan in the show making a comment on the cartoon.
Wow.
And it's like, it's a kid's cartoon show, man. You know, and it's like, so there are the people who are really passionate, and they're the people who just like, it's a kid's cartoon show, man. This is an adult cartoon show. It's like, it's a sci-fi show. It's like, no, it's make-believe. And so like, yeah, for me, I don't even, like, I can think about some of the names of the ships, but I never even got to stand in this place. Right. So I don't even, it's just a ship set.
There was like I can't remember if it was one or two pieces over the course of the 2 years that I got notes on back was saying that something was mismarked. And it was something that I couldn't remember but I didn't have full reign over that particular item, and it just went out, and so we had to give someone their money or give them a discount or something, and it was
again, that's you're buying it based on its perceived value for it's this item. So and it's like people might care about the Daedalus more than they do about the Prometheus, and they're going to bid on it that way. The other thing about those chips though that I'm remembering, the laser cut chips were way cheaper to make. Like the amount of work and time that goes into them was just so much lower.
Because of how they were spat out, or because the stickers didn't have to be designed and applied and cut and everything else?
All of that is time, money, and work, and it all translates into cost.
Yep, makes sense.
Hey, USB to
USB adapter, to whatever technology. Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I made a bunch of these, and it gets lost on me which ones are which.
I used to know as well.
I don't know what that is at the bottom, that shiny bit.
It's adhesive of some sort. It looks like glue.
It shouldn't even need to be there.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming that this acrylic was attached to this piece somehow.
Just those screws through the middle.
Huh. Well, what is it doing there? Maybe it's got
I
an
don't know.
alien in it. Interesting. Oh, interesting. That looks like an Ethernet port.
Maybe. And yeah, that's just heat shrink on a bunch of stuff.
Wow. Look at the detail. That is so cool.
Yeah, here's some more of them. I don't remember what these ones are from. I made so many of them, it just blurs.
I used to know what each one went to, and I don't anymore. Like little data pads. There's a bunch of these in Janice's briefcase. Not the same sticker though. Or it may be, but that one's still all completed. But
yeah. Those ones have like beveled edges. That's a bunch of extra work that went into that one.
Wow.
I think those ones look like the ones in the side of the BFG.
Yes.
But I'm thinking like Atlantis season
Same
3 and
size.
4
Yep.
is when I think those kind of ones came. And I know I made that in like the first year, and I don't remember what it was for. I don't think I made more of them, but those ones look really unique. And it was just like, okay, it's gonna make a cool looking ship. That one's busy.
Exactly. The only one that I can remember being distinctly different was there was a one that you guys had made for the Ori Supergate. You made, because one is none. You made the original and a backup, and it was like great big, because the Supergate panel when Sam is on the side of it is great big, and we put those in the live auction. But those were the only ones that were really monstrous and unique that I didn't set aside for other for eBay. But yeah, here we go. Your favorite prop.
Oh, baby monitor.
Baby monitor, and on top, little Janai. Even that's looks like it's been adapted for. Is this been adapted?
Well, no,
from
those
something else
are
as well?
the two halves of a baby monitor shoved together.
This piece here is a baby monitor too. Oh,
I think so.
okay.
Like,
it could be,
or
it's
it
got
might be a mold of something.
volume control here. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, this was not even something I made. This was something that came back for repair and repaint
I see.
a couple times, and it was like, what is? Oh, it's a baby monitor.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
It works. Like,
It does.
I by the time this happened, I was already familiar with the lady's razor that is the communicator in Phantom Menace story. That is the prominent one of like, yeah, we just reuse stuff.
Yeah.
It's cheaper.
If it looks good on screen and
That's
it's
enough.
obscure enough, I mean, you don't want if everyone's going to recognize it, then you've probably got a problem. But I mean, if 9 out of 10 audience members aren't going to, somewhere in that neighborhood, why not? So, all right, Harmony's necklace and stunt necklace.
I'm glad you remembered what this is, because when I first saw it, I was like,
yes.
Did I make
She held this to activate her powers.
And then I was like half an hour later, I'm like, no, I did make that.
Yeah.
But I never painted it.
Oh,
I never painted it. So like the frame is made of a black material.
Okay.
And the inside was all clear to me. So I cut all those pieces out.
Interesting.
And then I think somebody else assembled and glued them and painted them. And so like what I built and what parts of it I built and what actually went out, completely different things.
Wow. And the stunt version of that.
Oh, that's made out of foam.
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
Ah, see, and again, I'm sitting here going, I barely remember this.
Yep. Awesome. This is a replicator drone. It is a homing device that was used in, I believe, this mortal coil. So,
yes.
Exceptionally cool device. We pop the thing open, put batteries in them, and then light it up and shoot it. And it was just so many cool things that you guys made. The
that
data
one looked
recorder
cool. I'm remembering
Odyssey,
a name I won't repeat for the name of the episode that we used internally.
Okay.
Just because it was frustrating. But no, that prop was cool. I don't think I built much on it. Like, I think I did a few bits and edges of things, but like seeing it built over there was like, that thing looks cool. It's going to be neat.
Mark, we have about 50 more images to go. Should we have you back next year for those and get to fan questions instead?
That sounds pretty reasonable
I
after what is two and a
This
half hours.
has been fascinating, but at some point, it goes into human rights violations.
Yes.
So, and I've got a ton of questions here, so let me try and get through a few of those, okay? Thank
Also,
you for being so knowledgeable about all of this. Yes.
an aside, my username on YouTube is Confracto. I'm already in the chat a bit. I will be paying attention to the comments. If your question doesn't get asked here, just ask questions.
Yep. So
I'll see some of them.
this video is going to be, where it is right now in the live stream is going to be discontinued after I re-upload this, because it's going to take a while, because it's going to be a big file. So don't do it then. But when it gets reissued, if you're watching it a couple of days later after if you're watching it on the 26th of October or forward and you're not in Australia, yes, put it in the comments below for that video, and Mark is going to be keeping his ear to the ground for about a week. So, all right. Yep. Let me see here. Matthew Ravila, does anyone know about the map on the table in the Kelowna bunker from Homecoming? Ooh, that's specific. That's season 7 of SG-1. That's before Mark's time.
It is, but I would hazard to guess if anyone's done their job right, it should be a map of Kelowna from interior British Columbia.
That makes sense.
Like this is a city in our province here.
Yep.
So I've been there a couple times. It's a nice place. Go look for maps of Kelowna, because that might just be Kelowna.
Might just be it. Jeremy Heiner, your website features a lot of models from the MechWarrior universe.
Yep.
Can you tell us a bit about that?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of my work. These are video games I worked on. MechWarrior Online, I worked on that for 5 or 6 years. MechWarrior 5 as well, which was some of the development time overlapped. Because video games was what I wanted to be doing and trained in when I got a job at a video game studio in Vancouver out of school, and then that project got canceled.
As
and
many often do. Yeah.
And the people doing Stargate props were trying to do some of the 3D scanning stuff that they were experimenting with, and they were like, we need someone who can scan things or help us with this. So they contacted the school I worked at, and I got a job.
Wow.
So
You're the guy.
I spent time building film props and loved it, but wanted to go back to doing video games. And it took a little longer to get there, but I've been doing it for a bit more than 10 years now straight.
There we go. Cool stuff.
So,
the drone. That is so cool.
There are other places where you can find interviews with me about my MechWarrior and BattleTech stuff.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. All right, let's see here. Kathy's call. How much control over prop design did you have?
Sometimes this, sometimes this, sometimes.
I'm going to use this material. Yeah.
Sometimes we would get a paper napkin sketch. Sometimes we would get
Destiny.
a very detailed drawing.
Yeah. Destiny was finished on a paper napkin, the ultimate shape. It's like this.
Yeah. Like, so it depends.
Okay. All right.
And it would change all the time, and it'd be like, there was one where our lead was asking for the concept for this thing because we needed to build it, and we couldn't get it, and I don't know why. It was already up on Joe's blog. So I grabbed it off there, gave it to him, and he's like, can you print that for me? And I'm like, yeah. And so he walked into the office the next day. I'm like, here, can I have the real one? Because I've already got this out in public. And it was just like, oh, come on. And I don't even know what was going on. Like, but it was just like, there was an aspect of like, this is secret, but also isn't, that sometimes would happen. And again, Joe's the showrunner. He can do whatever he likes. He's the boss.
For sure. No, that's the thing. I cannot tell you how many times production told me that Gate World was used as a resource for X, Y, or Z.
Oh, I
I
used it
don't
all the time.
I don't know in this how many circumstances it was before an episode was released, but in some circumstances, yes, when it was finished, but it hadn't been released yet, because we had gotten some information from some of our interviews, and they went back and said, I said something. What was it? I can't remember what it was, and it was the key to that. And they went and read their own interview, and it's like, that's it. And then they went and they did it. It's like they had planned on doing something. I can't remember who it was, but that kind of thing happened all the time. The snake eating its own tail.
But like, no, big shout out to gateworld.net, Sarna.net, the Battletech and MechWarrior wiki. I have some friends who have been working on that project for a long time. Like, no, these are invaluable resources. The project I work on now has a wiki because it is part of a larger universe, and we use it all the time.
Yep.
You can't keep track of all this stuff internally and also keep making things. You would never have time to do it.
Exactly.
And even like Gateworld, I'd be going back for screenshots of old props to repair them or figure out what the old version of this was and see how it played. And because I was the kind of person who cares about it and would do this kind of digging, I would just be like, oh yeah, Mark's going to go do all the checking and find stuff. So that became a thing I just did all the time. And it continues to be a thing I do.
How often would it be a circumstance where, was there ever, I guess this may have been an issue earlier on until you figured out where your lane exactly was to stay in. But one of the things that I was kind of surprised at in being on set that later I was like, I don't know why that didn't occur to me before, is I wanted to do something and I was told by publicity, no, you can't do that. We have someone here to do that for you. And I'm like, okay, like there are people who are there to do just that.
Yeah.
Even for people who are not involved strictly in production, but who are on the premises. And if you do that instead of them, you may be thinking you're helping someone else out, but you're actually taking their job from them. So they have a function there, and that is to do that job.
It's union work, man.
Yep.
Everyone has, like, there's a lot of people who fought long and hard for a lot of certain roles.
Yep.
I can remember arguments about Teamsters going, no, you can't move that toolbox. It's got wheels on it.
That's right.
Like, you know, it's still sometimes that was more of a joke and it was a silly one, but like, no, I remember we built a box for a camera just so it would stop making sound, so the on-set photographer could take pictures without making noise.
I saw them use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the practice of making those was common. It was just like someone got a new camera, we needed to make a new box.
Yeah, no, the on-set photographer, she would, I was there when they did the shots for Irresistible, and she showed me the box that you guys had made so that she was able to while there's a take going, take pictures with while they were filming a take. So it was really cool. I didn't know you guys did that. That's awesome. Let me see here. Dan Ben, how many buttons were on a Zat Gun? Working buttons for the pneumatic ones, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure for the servo ones, it was just the same button that opened and closed it, didn't it?
Well, wasn't there one for raising and lowering and one for firing? I'm not sure though.
Oh, that's a good point. There must have been one for firing as well, because the front of it would. As
the answer is I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
I know there's at least one, but there might be two.
The physical prop itself, I think, has 4. There's two. Well, one moment. We were both wrong.
Oh.
It has 3. I never noticed this detail.
Exciting. I always find the buttons on there to be very they don't look very integrated into the rest of the design.
Right?
They look like something that got like added on in a mold.
Exactly. So open, close, and fire, I'm guessing.
And I always look at it and I go, this doesn't feel like fun design.
It wasn't fun in its creation. I can tell you that right now. Christopher Judge told us very recently that Jonathan Glassner called him up to the office and said, "Name this." And Chris was like, "What? You're the writers." And Jonathan said, "Yeah, but you're the alien." So Chris said, "Zat Nickel." And Jonathan wrote it into the last episode of season 1. Okay.
Oh, like my online handle, Confracto, is, "Hey Mark, quick, what's the weirdest word you can think of?" And that popped out of my head,
Oh,
and I went,
to make
"Okay,
up.
cool.
Yeah. Confracto.
I'm gonna go." And we were looking up websites at the time in 2001 in high school, and it was like, I'm gonna go grab that website now.
Yeah, that's a domain that
That's
won't
just
be
gonna be
taken.
my thing.
Absolutely. Good for you. Let me see here. Christina Graziella, what was the most difficult challenge during Stargate filming? But you were never present for filming, right?
I was never on set for filming. In 5 years, I went down to the Bridge Studio 5 times,
Okay.
and most of it was like to the office to pick up a crew gift or something.
Yep.
I was there for the 200th anniversary celebration when they were like, they had them all there and they were doing an interview and they had cake for everyone.
Yep.
I got to go for that.
Good.
But otherwise, it was like, no, and that celebration was the only time I actually got to go into the SGC and look at the real gate when it was there still, and walk through that set. And it was like I was there for like 15 minutes. That's it.
Right. Lockwatcher also asked, I have one of the foam molded drawer covers from Stargate Atlantis' Inferno episode. Were you involved in making these foam molded drawer covers? That was season 2. And I don't think. Lockwatcher, are you still on? Aurora. It was from Aurora first. Aurora, if we're thinking about the same thing. Atlantis door. Let me have a look here if I can pull.
Because season 2 was before my time.
Yep.
So even if I was making more of them for something else, wait, wasn't the Aurora the ship of the people who come later? Wasn't that season 4?
Aurora was season 2. And
okay, well then never mind.
Then they have the Orion, and then they've got the Travelers who have stolen one. So
I think no, the door cover I think might have been the picture just below there.
Which one?
I'm not sure.
There it is. Yes,
yeah,
these were made for Atlantis episode Aurora first, because here they are here and here, and it literally
had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, this literally says pull to open. So
yeah,
that
sounds about right.
Turned that, and it was a plant-on. That's all it was, just a foam plant-on. So yeah, Lockwatcher, that was in Aurora first, and then they used it again in Inferno. Lead Farmer, good question. How many of Ronan's guns were made? I imagine at least 6. So
I never got to see them all at the same time to know.
We sold. There was a hero. There was one hero. There may have been 2 of them. If the other one, Jason Momoa or someone got that one. PropWorks acquired one, and it went for a private sale. And it was beautiful, and it was heavy. And then we had 6 or 7 duplicates. A couple of them were stunt rubber, but none of them lit.
No.
Except for the butt of the gun, the power cell. Those on 2 or 3 of them did light, and you just unscrewed and went. But the thing that I never understood was Ronan's a runner. When is he going to have a chance to stop and recharge those? But they were really cool pieces. And then the Travelers got them. So you guys in Atlantis season 4 were able to reuse that prop and also give an explanation as to where that technology came from.
And if you look, all the pictures of the stunt ones have all my glue job repairing the rope going around the handle over and over again.
Oh, really? Let me pull this.
Because that would go all the time. I was repairing it constantly.
Wow. Well, that makes a lot of sense because they got a lot of. Hang on, folks. Let me pull this up here. We didn't get to that, but I will show these because it is a part of the topic right now. And then we're pretty much done after this.
Yeah, I think we should wrap up.
Yep. Sorry about this, buddy. Okay, here we go real quick. Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a stunt one. I think this, I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
it is.
It's
supposed to be Wraith hair. Yeah.
If you look at the very top, you can see that the lines aren't straight. because it's rubber as opposed to metal.
Got it. Yeah, and then there's a Traveler one.
Yeah, which that also looks like a cast one.
Yeah. But yeah, very cool. In the permanently in the deactivated position. I think that's what we have from everybody here. Mark, thank you for going above and beyond. 3 hours, man. I am so sorry. I had no idea that it was going to be this interesting. Not that you weren't going to be interesting, but that we were going to cover so much ground. So it means a lot to me to have you.
I picked a small list of pictures because I was like, these are all things I know I can talk about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And yeah, for people, I'll still be in the comments later this week. I know how much fun this is for you guys to ask for things, so I'll pay attention.
I'll send you the link to the new one when it gets re-uploaded. The one where you're not muted through, about 3 minutes of it.
Oh man, sorry about that, everyone.
Yeah, I apologies, guys. Yeah, my tools backfire on me. Thank you so much for coming on. And I'll be speaking with you soon. Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the show on this side. Be well, sir. That is Mark Nicholson, prop builder for Stargate SG-1, Atlantis, and Universe, as well as the Ark of Truth and Continuum. My name is David Reed. You're watching the Stargate Oral History Project. My tremendous thanks to my whole team for pulling this episode off. Jeremy and Anthony, Kevin, Lockwatcher, Marsha, Raj, and Jacob. You guys make this easy week in and week out. My webmaster, Frederick Marcoux over at Concepts Web, and Matt Eagle SG, who created the Ori warship opening in this episode. Hope you enjoyed that. We've got 4 shows coming at you tomorrow. 3 of them on Dial the Gate and 1 over at Wormhole Extremists. My name is David Reed. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you on the other side.